A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the life of Mary Sothern. When Mary married Max Sanders, she felt that her destiny as a woman had been fulfilled. She loved him as a woman believes she can love only once during her lifetime. And she looked forward with assurance to years of happiness with her husband. He had become an essential part of her. He was a very reason for existence. And it is not surprising that her friends are distressed by her refusal to accept reality and to face the undeniable fact that Max is dead. Yesterday, when Daddy Stratford, always wise, kind, and understanding, went to talk with Mary, he was alarmed at her quiet statement that Max has not left her, that Max is not dead. Now it is the next afternoon. Mary's young sister-in-law, Phyllis, who has been an invalid since the birth of her second baby, is in her wheelchair in the kitchen of the little house. Her husband, Danny Stratford, wearing a large apron, is standing over the stove, struggling valiantly to follow her directions in preparing a beef stew.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, Danny, you look so awkward. Why don't you hold the handle of the skillet in your left hand and the fork in the right?
Oh, you mean turn the pan around, huh? I never thought of that.
Oh, be careful, Danny. The flame's too high.
Oh.
You're supposed to sear the meat, not burn it.
Sear? Say, where'd you get that $2 word? What's it mean, honey?
It means brown the meat quickly so the juices will stay in.
Gosh, Phyllis, how do you know things like that?
Silly, you have to know more than that to cook 3 meals a day. Oh, Danny, the pan's burning.
Oh.
You need more fat.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny, dear, why don't you give up and let Mary cook the stew when she comes in?
Give up? Why? Oh, why, Stratford never gives up.
But that's the only reason we persuaded Mary to come today. Because Laura went driving with her father and Tweed Larson. And we told Mary there was nobody to cook our dinner.
Yeah, I know, but Mary hasn't been here since... it doesn't seem fair to make her work.
Well, I thought we'd decided to do something to keep Mary busy. To keep her from staying home and brooding about Max.
Well, sure, honey, but the rate I'm going, there'll still be plenty of cooking for Mary to do.
I guess you're right. Oh, that must be Mary.
Well, gosh, what'll I do? I can't leave the stew.
I think you'd better leave the stew before it's burned to a frazzle. Turn off the gas, dear, and drop those pieces into the pot.
Yeah, I'm coming. Just drop them in like that?
Just like that. Mary will finish it. Oh, I feel almost guilty having her come here and seeing us together and happy when she's so lonely and miserable without Max.
So do I. Maybe that's why she hasn't come to see us, huh?
I'm afraid it is.
Well, there you are. Oh, I'll go let her in.
Yes.
Hello, Danny.
Hey, Daddy, we thought it was Mary.
Is that Daddy? Come on in.
Hi, Phyllis. Say, you look mighty chipper today.
I'm feeling fine, Daddy.
Well, Phyllis, I'm not staying long. I come to talk to you about Mary. I want to leave before she gets here.
About Mary? Is something wrong? Everyone says she's been so wonderful, so calm.
That's just it. She's been too calm.
But it's only natural and that it's going to take her a long while to get over the shock of Max's death.
Oh, yes, of course. I understand what a shock it's been, and so does John Benson, but, we're both worried about her. I know it's the hardest thing we humans have to face in this life, loss of someone we love, but Mary's in a state of mind that, it ain't quite natural. What she's trying to do, Phyllis, is to pretend that Max isn't dead.
Well, maybe it makes her feel better to pretend.
Yes, I reckon it does. I understand that part of it. I remember when your mother died, Danny. It was months before I could make myself believe she was really gone. That is, my heart wouldn't believe it. But the sensible part of me, my mind, kept telling me that she wasn't there, so after a while I had to believe it.
Oh, Daddy, do you think there's anything I can do? I feel so helpless sitting here in this wheelchair.
Yes, Phyllis, that's why I came to you. Now, you're Max's sister. You were closer to him than anybody except Mary, and I thought you ought to talk to her alone.
Oh, you mean I ought to get out of the way when she comes, huh?
Yes, Danny, for a little while. You see, a woman will open her heart to another woman and tell her things she won't tell a man, no matter how much the man loves her and wants to help her.
Oh, I hope I won't say the wrong thing, Daddy. She loved Max so terribly. She's probably been crying her eyes out.
No, Phyllis, that's just the trouble. She ain't cried at all.
Oh.
That's why John Benson's worried. He says the reaction ain't set in yet. He says it ain't natural for her to go on this long without breaking down. And if she don't let down soon, well, he don't know what'll happen. She just keeps saying that Max ain't dead.
Oh. Hey, Daddy, I got an idea. Let's you and I duck out right now, and we'll tell Mary we've got an errand to do, huh?
Oh, you have an errand. There's not enough butter in the house for supper.
Okay, I'll get some. Well, come along, Daddy. Let's get going. Hiya, Mary. Come on in.
Hello, Danny. Going out?
Yep, I got to go to the store.
Hello, Mary.
Well, Daddy, Phyllis didn't tell me you were coming for supper.
Well, I ain't, Mary, much as I'd like to. I just stopped in my way back to the hotel. Danny's walking downtown with me. I'll see you soon.
I'll be seeing you in a few minutes. So long.
Mary, I'm so glad to see you.
Phyllis, I'm glad to see you, too.
Take off your things and sit down in the big chair, Mary. Max always said it was the only comfortable chair in our house. Oh, Mary, it's so hard to believe. I know how you've been suffering. He was closer to you than to anybody in the world.
He is close to me, Phyllis.
Yes. Yes, of course. He always will be. But, Mary, I don't think Max would want you to stay alone so much. You should see your friends. Get out of the house.
But I'm not alone, Phyllis. Max is with me. And he's closer to me when no one else is there.
Oh, I know how you feel. You want to sit and think about him and pretend that he's going to open the door and walk in.
I'm not pretending anything, Phyllis. I know Max is with me.
Mary, do you remember what Max said just before he died? Remember how he said everything was dark? And then suddenly his eyes opened wide. And he said he could see things he never saw before.
Yes, I remember.
It sounded as if he really saw the future, Mary. He said he saw you all alone, and you were afraid. But he said you shouldn't be, because he saw a whole new life for you, a life of happiness.
Yes, Phyllis. I remember every word Max said.
You believed what he said, didn't you, Mary?
Why, of course.
Then won't you try to go on as he asked you to? Oh, I know how hard it is. I know how you and Max loved each other. I know you can never forget him. I know it seems as though part of you's gone, but...
Phyllis, you've forgotten the most important thing of all. You haven't remembered everything Max said.
What do you mean?
You heard him, Phyllis. He said, I'll be with you, Mary.
But Mary...
And he is with me. He's here with me now, very close to me. You are with me, aren't you, Max?
Yes, Mary. I'm with you. Don't be afraid.
Oh, Max, darling, I'm not afraid.
Mary, it isn't right for you to be alone so much.
Didn't you hear him, Phyllis? Didn't you hear his voice telling me not to be afraid?
Mary, you make yourself sick. You've got to understand. You've got to face the truth.
Well, you heard his voice, Phyllis. You must have heard him. You see, that's what I've been trying to tell you. Max isn't dead.
Was Mary's mind actually becoming unbalanced in the shock of losing her husband, Max Sanders? Or Or is this a natural reaction? And will time gradually restore her to reality?
The Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation brings you Crime Photographer.
Did you have a good time at the UN yesterday, Tony?
Sure did, Casey. Even attended a committee meeting.
But what did you say when they asked whom you represented?
Why, Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Marvin. Every week at this time, the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, and its more than 10,000 employees bring you another adventure of Casey, crime photographer, ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Written by Alonzo Dean Cole, our adventure for tonight, The Chivalrous Gunman. Penrose Square in the daytime is a busy place. But now at night, lights shine behind a few windows of its old-fashioned office and loft buildings. And a block away, a construction crew continues to drill and blast a new section of subway out of the city's rocky bed. In the darkened offices of the J.J. Titus Company, whose business is private loans, there are three men. One is busily engaged at the door of a massive safe. Another holds a flashlight. The third lightly grasps a gun.
How you coming, Gus?
Almost ready to blow, Red. Hold that flashlight steady, will you, Riker?
Sure, Gus.
Got the shakes pretty bad, haven't you, Riker?
No, I'm all right, Ed.
You're so scared I can hear your teeth rattle.
Oh, it's the guy's first job, Gus. Weren't you scared when you cracked your first safe? I was scared the first time I killed a guy.
I've never been scared.
How many men have you killed, Ed?
Oh, you've got a lot to learn about the rackets, Riker. You must never ask personal questions, and you must cultivate a bad memory.
I will.
I got the charge in and all wired. It's ready to shoot after I rig my pattern. You still scared, Riker?
Well, sometimes people work in this building at night doing overtime. If the explosion is heard...
I'm nuts. Nobody paying attention to this blast. That subway work going on outside makes a perfect setup.
I hope we find all the dough in that safe you say will be in it, Riker.
There'll be at least $40,000 and maybe $50,000. I work in this office. I know what Titus keeps on hand.
You better be right. I don't like to waste my time.
I told you, fellas, how much money my boss kept here. I showed you how to beat the burglar alarm.
Sure, Riker. You've done your part.
Back with the wall, guys. I'll touch her off.
Right.
Yeah. Here she goes.
The door's blown clean off.
Sure. I know how to crack these boxes. Now we'll see.
The thing is full of dough.
I told you.
Hey, give me that suitcase. Help me load it with this dough, you guys.
You and Riker load it. I stay close to this hall door to watch and listen. I'm watching you guys, too, to see none of that dough sticks to your fingers. I want a full third of it.
You'll get it, Ed.
Sure I will.
Big bills in packages.
Hey, there's all of $50,000 here.
We'll count it up when we get to the hotel and make our split.
Yeah, shake it up now.
We've got it all.
Hey, let's get out of here.
You carry the bag with my tools in, Riker. I'll take the money suitcases.
Oh, why can't I...
Gus tells you, Riker.
Sure, okay. But let's get away.
Quiet now. I'll open the door. Come on, there's no one in the hall.
We'll go down the back stairs.
Yeah, then there's only a block to the car and our getaway.
Quiet.
Somebody opened the door.
Down the hall there.
That girl.
Don't scream, babe. Don't.
I won't, but why do you point that gun at me? Mr. Riker.
She recognizes me, Ed. She's a stenographer who works in that office. She'll tell.
And if she told the cops on you, you tell about us. You got to bump the scale, Ed.
No, I don't know what this is all about. Please.
Quiet. Let her have it, Ed.
This girl's coming with us.
Coming with us?
Where?
I know a spot out in the suburbs.
You're going to kill me.
Now, take it easy, baby. Come on, we're heading down the back stairs.
Ed, you take her where you want to. Gus and I'll go to the place we agreed on.
Take that dough with you?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Riker. The dough and me are going to stick together. Yeah, this is a good spot, Gus. Stop the car.
Okay, Ed.
You're going to kill me here.
Sorry, sister. You work late in your office on the wrong night. Let's get out.
Oh, I'll never tell anybody that I saw you, man. I swear I'll never tell. Mr. Riker, you know me. I swear.
That's just it, Miss Birch. You know me, and you could send me to prison.
You're the guy who runs the biggest risk from this girl, Riker. Suppose you bump her off.
Me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I couldn't kill anybody.
Okay, yellow belly. How about you, Gus? You're strong for this bump off.
I've done my end of the job tonight. This is your part, Ed.
Yeah, that's so. Want to see me do it?
No. Take her back there among those trees.
Okay. Come on, sister.
No. Let go of my
Come on
husband.
now.
Please.
Quiet.
Please don't.
Come on. That's the girl. Just a few steps, babe, away from the road where the trees are thick. That's it. And away from those two yellow bellies. Oh, I'm not going to hurt you.
You're not.
Quiet. I've been sizing you up, and I figured you'd stand by a guy who stood by you.
I swear I'll never tell. I swear.
That don't convince me. I go by how I feel about things. Besides, I've never killed a woman.
You're going to let me go?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Now, Candace, now listen. If you follow this path for about a quarter mile, you'll come out on Weldon Spring Road, where you can flag a bus back to town. All right, get going.
Mister.
That's all. I'll fire a shot or two after you start for the benefit of those mugs back there. So long.
Thanks. I'll never forget you.
What I expect you to do is forget me. Get on your way.
Goodbye. You can depend on me.
A swell double cross,
Hey, what,
Listen, I didn't trust you with that money. We followed you and heard everything you said to that girl.
You did, Riker?
We did.
And you have a gat in your mitt, huh, Gus?
Yeah.
Guns aren't your racket, pal. You're a safecracker.
I'll use a gat when I have to pay off a double crosser. That gal is never going to reach the bus line. And as for you...
What about me?
I'm giving you this.
No, you don't.
Oh.
I said guns weren't your racket, Gus. It's slow on the trigger.
You killed him.
I think so, Riker. Let's see. Uh-huh. He's dead. You never saw a guy get it before, I guess.
Don't look at me like that, Ed.
Not
Don't
much guts have you, Riker. You don't belong in the big leagues, and you wouldn't know what to do with big dough. So I'm taking all of what we got tonight.
No. Not even a killer like you was going to take it from me.
Shouldn't have reached for the gat. Poor Gus dropped, Riker. Guns aren't your racket either.
Our story will continue in just a moment. For more than 125 years, we've all enjoyed good, wholesome beer and ale in glass bottles. Why?
Because glass, and only glass, can bring you beer and ale as it comes from the brewery, unaffected by any foreign taste or flavor.
Yes, glass bottles, and only glass bottles, can bring you beer as it's meant to taste. Beer that's brewery bright.
And here at last is a new kind of bottle.
A glass bottle that's different.
It requires no deposit.
No return to the store.
When the bottle is empty, just throw it away.
It's light as a feather.
Sturdy and compact.
It saves space in the icebox.
It belongs on any table.
It's a natural for picnics.
And, brother, what flavor, that real brewery flavor.
Protected by glass.
As only glass can protect it.
Yes, the revolutionary new Anchor Glass one-way, no-deposit bottle is sweeping America. For flavor, demand beer in glass bottles. For convenience, demand your favorite brand in the new Anchor Glass one-way, no-deposit bottle. A product of Anchor Hocking. The most famous name in glass.
That's how it happened, Captain Logan. I tried to tell you everything. No, No,
That's the end, Captain.
Riker's dead, Doctor?
Yes, it's a miracle he lived as long as he did.
Well, Logan, you got a big break. He gave you a pretty complete story before he passed out.
Yeah, it was a swell break, Casey.
But Riker didn't identify the killer for you, Captain. He said he knew him only as Ed. And the description he gave you fits thousands of men.
Well, at least Riker gave me something to work on, Miss Williams. And there's this stenographer, Francis Birch, that the gunman turned loose.
Logan, do you go for that part of Riker's story? A professional trigger man so chivalrous he takes a chance on his own hide by letting a witness go free? That's hard for me to swallow.
Well, screwy as this thing sounds, I think she got away safely. She'll be able to give me a good description of this killer. Women remember men.
If the killer did let her go, and if she has any sense of gratitude, you're not going to get a thing out of her.
Now, when she learns that her chivalrous gunman killed 2 guys tonight, well, as a reputable citizen...
I'll bet she won't say a thing.
We'll see. I'm starting to look for Miss Birch right now.
Yes, Captain Logan, the man let me go. He said he couldn't kill a woman. I ran through the woods, caught a bus, and came home here.
He didn't follow you?
No, Captain Logan.
This is certainly a hot one, Annie.
I'll say. Now, I've told you all I know. I've had a terrible experience tonight. Please leave me alone.
I'm sorry, Miss Birch, but you haven't yet given me a description of this man called Ed.
I can't describe him, Captain. It was dark all the time I was with him, and I was so frightened.
Well, you must have some idea.
I haven't. I don't remember a single detail of the man's appearance.
Because you're too grateful to remember?
I just don't remember.
Miss Birch, this man's a professional killer. He murdered 2 men tonight.
It was a cold-blooded murder, and it was a double cross.
It's your duty to assist the police in putting him where he belongs.
Duty can't make me tell you something I don't know. I wouldn't recognize him if he walked into this room. I don't know him.
Okay. That's the way you want it. I'll have to hold you as a material and unwilling witness. Sergeant, take this young lady to headquarters.
You mean I'll be a prisoner?
You will be held for further questioning. Does the prospect improve your memory?
No, Captain. I'm ready to go, Sergeant.
Well, guess you win your bet, Casey.
Sorry, pal. I hoped I'd lose.
Mr. Ebersole, to everyone who's come into this bar, I've been predicting that this here baseball season is going to end with a big surprise.
Hello, Ethelbert.
Hi, pal. Casey, Miss Williams. Excuse me, Mr. Ebersole. Where you been all day?
Oh, hanging around police headquarters. Who's that guy?
I'm going back there in a few minutes.
Yeah, we've only got time for a small bottle of beer apiece, so give us some action, Ethelbert. Come
Coming
on.
right up. You sticking close to headquarters, waiting for a break in that chivalrous gunman case?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things swell newspaper copies. The women especially are eating it up.
Well, I'll say they are, Miss Williams. Every other femme who comes in here is talking about the killer who wouldn't hurt a lady. I think most of them are jealous of that Birch gal. They'd like to have met such a romantical character themselves.
Oh, romantical character nuts, Ethelbert. Those cookies don't do anything romantic or chivalrous unless they got a very cold, hard-boiled reason for it.
But she still ain't described or identified the killer, has she?
Well, no.
Which seems to prove, Mr. Casey, that he didn't take very big chances. He was simply an excellent judge of character.
Maybe. The thing still has a phony smell to me.
I don't see why, Casey. He sized up the gal and figured she wouldn't rat on anyone who done her a big favor. That's all there is to it.
That's the way it looks, all right. Yeah.
I suppose the cops have investigated the Birch gal pretty thorough, huh?
Very thoroughly. And she's just what she seems to be, a plain-looking, capable stenographer. And her reputation is A1.
But, Annie, nobody knows her really well. She has no close gal friends. She never went out much with guys. The cops didn't find anybody she'd ever been confidential with.
Well, so what? Girls in a wolf town like this are smart to keep to themselves.
Yeah. Well, she worked overtime on the night of the robbery at her own request, Danny.
And her boss says that she's done that many times before.
Yeah, I know.
You got suspicions of Miss Birch, Casey?
Well, I had, pal, but there seems to be no grounds for them.
Casey had an elaborate theory that the appearance of Miss Birch after the Titus safe was robbed was timed.
Time?
To make two of the robbers, Riker and Gus, agree to a change in plans.
See, they'd intended to split the dough in a downtown hotel. Well, Francis Birch provided an excuse for this gunman Ed to get them and the stolen money out to a lonely spot in the woods where he could bump them off and take the entire haul.
You figured Miss Birch and that Ed were working together, huh?
Well, it was a theory.
You mean a hunch?
Yeah, only Logan can't find any connection between the Birch gal and any crooks.
I don't think it was a very hot theory, anyways. I guess Captain Logan's been rounding up a lot of suspects, huh?
Every guy known to have associated with a safecracker, Gus, has been brought in for questioning. The cops are still looking for more. Oh, well. Annie, come on, let's get back to headquarters. If anything breaks in this case, we want to be around,
And we'd better be. Our city desk will have our scalps.
You know what I predict about this case, pal?
What?
It'll either be solved...
Yeah?
Or it'll always remain a mystery.
You and Miss Williams got here just in time, Casey. My boys have brought in another suspect.
So who is he?
A rod from Minneapolis named George Neal. Been booked for several trigger jobs in the Middle West, but always got out from under. He's been seen several times with Gus Lesser during the past couple of weeks, and he just might be Ed.
Is the name Ed one of George Neal's aliases, Captain?
No, not that we know of, Miss Williams, but that's a minor detail. An experienced crook wouldn't let an amateur like Riker know his real name or one of his usual aliases. Bring him in, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
In a minute or two, I'll have Miss Birch in to give him the once-over.
Oh, she won't identify anyone for you.
I watch that gal very closely when she meets a suspect, Miss Williams. When she sees the right one, she may tell me more than she intends to.
Oh, you think she'll give herself and him away?
Could be. Now, you and Casey keep your eyes open. Let me handle it.
Okay.
Here's Neil, Captain.
Oh, come in, Neil.
Oh, thanks.
Have a chair.
You're too good to me. Well, what's this pickup all about, Captain?
When'd you leave Minneapolis, Neil?
Ooh, about 6 months ago.
Been operating in this town ever since?
I don't know what you mean by operating.
You did quite a little gun work out in the Middle West?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I fell up against a couple of phony raps that weren't followed by convictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pulled some jobs in this town, Neil.
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Prove it.
I'm going to try. Bring in our witness, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. You have a witness?
Yeah.
There she is, Captain.
What do you want of me now, Captain?
Now, take a look at that man, Miss Birch.
Well?
Have you ever seen him before?
No.
You're certain?
Certain.
That's all. Take her back to her quarters, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Your witness didn't know me, Captain.
I noticed that, Neil.
Am I at liberty to go now?
You're being held for questioning. Take charge of him, Martin.
Come on, Neil.
Okay. You cops certainly waste an awful lot of time having a thing on me.
Miss Williams, Casey, you notice a change in that gal when she saw Neil?
Yes, Captain. Her voice was calm enough, but did you see how she clenched her hand?
You get it too, Casey?
I wasn't watching the gal, Logan.
You weren't watching?
Casey!
I had my eyes on Neil. He wasn't at all afraid of Miss Birch.
You mean you think he's not our guy?
I'm sure he is our guy.
I don't get it.
No, neither do I.
All right, now, Neil was pretty tense at first. Because you just might have had the goods on him for any one of a dozen jobs. Well, that tension disappeared when he saw Francis Birch. All he showed then was relief.
But, Casey, if he's Ed, He'd have had the opposite reaction.
Of course, Ed met this gal only once. He couldn't be sure she wouldn't send him to the hot seat.
Right. He couldn't be sure if he'd met her only once.
You going back to your cockeyed theory of collusion between that respectable woman and a professional rod man?
Neil's a good-looking guy. He could have made a play for her after he learned about the big dough in Titus's safe. And she could have gone so overboard on him, Logan, that she'd play along with the scheme, even a scheme that involved robbery and murder. Well, that's just a hunch, pal.
Well, there's no way to prove a hunch of that kind, Casey. She'll just keep on refusing to identify Ed.
I think there's a way to prove it.
Oh.
Women are jealous, Logan. And when they go all out for a guy, they demand a lot in return.
Yeah.
How do you know so much about women, Casey?
I've read about them, Annie, in books.
Say, we'll try the old green-eyed monster gag, Casey.
Now, what on earth?
You'll find out, because you're going to help work it, Miss Williams. Now, here's what we'll do. Beginning tomorrow, George Neal will receive special privileges in jail. He'll be allowed to have visitors privately. And after we're sure he's enjoying his privileges, Miss Birch's quarters in the women's wing will be changed so that she'll have a fine view of the private visiting room. And then, Miss Williams, you come in.
Come in, Miss Williams. Nice of you to visit me.
Well, it seems the least I can do, Miss Birch. You must be terribly unhappy here.
That's an understatement. I'm not in a barred cell, but I'm in a jail. I'm a prisoner. How much longer are they going to hold me as a witness against a man they haven't arrested and whom I can't identify if they do?
Well, I don't know, Miss Birch. But they're making things more comfortable for you. They've given you nicer quarters than you had before.
Yes. They moved me in here today.
Huh? Well, this would be quite a pleasant room if it weren't inside a jail.
Yes, but it is.
Oh, that's interesting view from this window.
Interesting? Barred windows, stone walls.
No, haven't you noticed the visiting rooms? They're a few floors below, across the court. You can see the real prisoners with their relatives and friends.
That'll be fun.
That fellow Neil is in one of the rooms now.
Neil?
He's a good-looking guy. One of the men that you couldn't identify, remember?
Oh, no, I've been asked to identify so many men.
Look, he's got a nice-looking girl visiting him.
Yes, I see.
She looks a little too blonde to be the real thing.
Definitely peroxide.
Oh, I don't know what there is about blondes, real or phony, but they sure appeal to men.
Who do you suppose that woman is?
I don't know.
She's probably a newspaper reporter like you, interviewing.
No, I know all the news gals in town, and she's not one of us.
Oh.
The guards come in to break up their visit. Oh. Neil must be a close friend. She's kissing him goodbye.
Yes, so I see.
Look at that. Oh. The guards shoot him out. Show's over.
Miss Williams.
Mm-hmm?
I wonder if you'd find out for me.
What, Miss Birch?
Nothing. Never mind. Oh, hello, Miss Williams.
Hi there. I meant to come back sooner, but I've been so busy.
It's good to see you. It's good to see anyone who isn't a matron or a policeman.
You don't look very well. Have you been sick?
I haven't been sleeping.
Well, I don't wonder. You're not really a prisoner, but just...
I'm in a prison.
Well, I wish I could do something for you.
You can. Miss Williams.
Yes?
Nothing. You know, I've had some amusement watching people in that visitor's room you pointed out to me. That man, Neil, I think you said his name was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, do you know that same blonde woman's visited him every day? She must be a relative, don't you think?
She's a relative, all right. I was curious enough to ask about her. She's his wife.
His wife?
Yeah. as she flew on here from Minneapolis. Why, Miss Birch, what's the matter?
He's married. He was married when he met me. Married when he made me do the things I did for him. All right, two can play his rotten game. Get Captain Logan. I'll tell him what he wants to know. George Neal is Ed. He's that chivalrous gunman. He's the murderer I love. He's the man who promised to marry me.
I guess you've heard everything you need to, Captain Logan.
Yeah, we heard, Miss Williams. And Casey wins another bet.
This one, Logan, I didn't want to lose.
We'll join the crowd at the Blue Note in just a moment. It's a funny thing, but nobody ever seems to have enough glasses. Attractive glasses, big, generous-sized glasses, particularly on these hot summer days and nights when you serve so much iced tea and lemonade. So why not put this note right on the top of your weekend shopping list? 6 oversized sunburst crystal glasses for long drinks of all kinds. These new sunburst crystal glasses cost only 10 cents apiece at your favorite 5 and 10 cent store or any other store selling household glass. They're crystal, yes, genuine crystal, with a beauty that can be compared only to rare and costly hand-cut crystal, the kind that mothers hand down to their daughters. Yet these sunburst crystal glasses cost only 10 cents apiece, only 60 cents for a half dozen, slightly more in distant cities. Now, you'll recognize them immediately by the distinctive sunburst design. But be sure to ask for Sunburst Crystal by name. Sunburst Crystal, product of Anchor Hocking. The most famous name in glass.
The blonde tomato Miss Birch saw with Neil was just a police stooge. Huh, Miss Williams?
Mm-hmm. That's right, Ethelbert.
Yeah, great job she has there. After a couple of visits, their little get-together was worth watching.
Those visits will put the chivalrous gunman into the hot seat.
Yes. Frances Birch has given the DA a detailed account of her association with Neil before the robbery and how they put on that act in the woods.
I still can't understand why he needed her as an excuse to get his partners in crime out in them woods.
Well, Ethelbert, Neil has a screwy quirk of character, pal. Unlike most professional gunmen, he couldn't shoot a guy unless he had some pretense of self-defense. So he planned things so both Gus and Riker tried to get him before he got them.
Pure vanity, Ethelbert. A manifestation of the protective ego with which all males cover their shortcomings.
Say, Annie, how do you know so much about men?
Not from reading books, Mr. Casey.
Huh?
Crime Photographer, starring Stotts Cotsworth as Casey, is brought to you each Thursday by the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, makers of Fire King Oven Glass. Anchor glass containers, Anchor caps and closures. All products of Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass. Photographer is directed by John Dietz. The original music is by Archie Blyer, and the program features Miss Jan Manor as Anne and John Gibson as Ethelbert. Herman Chittison is the Blue Note pianist. This is Tony Marvin saying goodnight for the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, with offices in all principal cities of the United States and Canada. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
I hope I haven't kept you waiting. Yes, this is the Crime Club. I'm the librarian. Death swims at midnight. Yes, we have that story for you. Come right over. You're here. Good. Take the easy chair by the window. Comfortable? The manuscript is on this shelf. Here it is. Death Swims at Midnight. The very exciting story of a singular beach where the tide goes out and murder comes in. Let's look at it under the reading lamp. Bill Desmond, the famous private detective, and his pint-sized assistant, Maxie Davis, have gone to the resort town of Marbell for a rest. To Maxie's disgust, Bill has dragged him out of bed at 7 a.m. to go for a swim. As they stand at the edge of the boardwalk, looking out over the ocean, Maxie blinks his sleepy eyes and then turns to glare at his boss.
You mean you expect me to go in there?
Why, sure, Maxie. A swim before breakfast is good for the health.
For a fish, yeah. Me, I should have stood in bed.
Oh, you'll change your mind when you hit that water. Aye, look at how blue it is. How calm.
Mm-hmm. And who knows how cold.
I do.
Huh?
What? Huh?
I do. Yep, the water's cold. Cold as death.
Excuse me, but...
Kind of scared you, eh? Well, didn't mean to. Name's Atkins. Fuzzy Atkins, they call me. I live in that shack on the old fishing pier.
I see.
Weren't thinking of doing some fishing, were you?
I know. Not this morning.
Too bad. Ain't many goes fishing these days. Nope. They got other things to do.
Well, yes. Excuse us, Fuzzy. We are going for a swim.
Go right ahead. But don't forget, the water's cold these days. Very cold.
Encouraging little fellow, isn't he, Maxie?
Yeah, look, Bill, maybe he's right. The water does look kind of chilly. Let's go back to our hotel.
Oh, nonsense. We're going for a swim. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get down these stairs to the beach.
Uh-huh. I still don't see why we couldn't have come down here later. At least we would have had company.
We have company, Maxie.
Where?
Over there. That girl.
Oh.
Ah. She looks rather interesting, doesn't she?
She looks like a dame.
There are dames, Maxie. And dames.
Yeah. And there's trouble and more trouble. Come on, Bill. Let's head for the other end of the beach.
And pass that up? Not me. Come on, let's visit.
But, Bill, Oh, okay. Say, what's she doing? Digging in the sand?
I don't know. She looks rather old to be making mud pies. Hello.
Oh,
I'm sorry if I startled you. Well, how's the water this morning?
it's okay, I guess.
Nice beach you have here.
Getting kind of crowded.
Is it? I didn't notice.
That's funny. Those eyes of yours have been noticing everything else.
Well, there's nothing like exercise to the eyes, I always say.
Just be careful they don't get too much. I hear that makes them turn black.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Just to give them a rest, I'm going to get out of here. So long.
That's the neatest brush off you ever got.
Too bad, too. I've always wanted to teach a girl like that how to swim.
Something tells me she don't need no lessons.
Maybe not. Well, let's get into the water, eh?
It's kind of nice here on the sand, Bill. What do you say we squat here for a while?
Yeah, all right. Watch where you sit down, Maxie.
Huh?
There's quite a bit of tar on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's a nice spot. Guess I'll just... Hey!
What's the matter, Maxie?
What's the matter? What's the idea of putting your foot under me?
Put my foot under you? Not me.
Oh, cut it out, will you, Bill? Who do you think you're kidding?
But on the level, I swear I didn't.
Well, that's funny. Wait a minute. Maybe there's something... Hey! It wasn't your foot. It's someone else's.
What? Here, let me see. Maxie, there's someone under the sand. Quick. Help me shovel it to one side.
Right.
I don't know just where, but if the feet are down here, I think... Here we are.
Holy smoke! It's a dame. Is she sleeping?
Yes. The long, long sleep of death. Did you phone the coroner, Maxie?
Yeah, Bill, he'll be right down.
Good.
Say, Bill, have you figured out what caused the death?
Well, there's a nasty bruise on her head, but I'd say she drowned.
Drowned? But how did she get under the sand?
The how, Maxie, is not so important as the why.
Howdy. Howdy, gentlemen. Noticed you digging from up on the pier. Ain't after clams, are you?
Not exactly, Fuzzy. Here. Take a look at what we dug up.
Oh. You know, I ain't seen a clam like that for a long time. No, sirree. Not like that.
Here, come on, let's stop that.
Huh?
Who is this girl?
Appears to me like Mrs. Dale. Joan Dale. Yep, that's who it is. She's got the big bungalow right opposite my shack on the pier.
I see. Fuzzy, did you see that girl who was on the beach when we got here?
Yep, sure did. That was Carol Carson. Got the bungalow on t'other side of Mrs. Dale. She left you in a hurry, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Hey, you don't think that Carson
I
dame
don't
was...
think anything yet, Maxie. Fuzzy, we expect the coroner here any minute. Will you watch the body until he arrives?
Yep, sure will.
Good. Come on, Maxie. I want to have a look at Mrs. Dale's bungalow.
Hey, this is quite a layout, huh, Bill?
Yes, Maxie. It's quite cozy.
Cozy is right. With a joint like this, even I could learn how to like the beach. What are you looking for?
No. We'll just poke around, see what we can.
What is it?
This desk, Maxie.
Well, what about it? I don't see a thing.
Take a look at the blotter.
So I'm looking. All I see is a lot of numbers.
Exactly. It's almost as though someone has been practicing arithmetic.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there are no papers on the desk. None in the drawers, and... Yeah, let me see. No. Nothing in the waste paper basket either. Maybe...
Where are you going?
Over the fireplace. Uh-huh.
You find anything, Bill?
Yes. Ashes, Maxie. Ashes. But not only of paper, of cloth, too.
Cloth?
Uh-huh. And to judge by some of the burnt threads, a coarse cloth.
Hello? That you, Martin? I want to talk to you about... Well, who are you?
My name is Desmond, Bill Desmond. This is my assistant, Maxie Davis.
Oh, you're the ones who discovered the body, aren't you?
Yes. How'd you know?
I've just left the coroner.
Oh, I see.
I beg your pardon, but the name Desmond is rather familiar.
Familiar, he says. Brother, you're looking at the best private op in the business.
Oh, of course. Oh, permit me to introduce myself. I'm Fulton Stokes, Mrs. Dale's attorney.
Oh, yes, how do you do? Mr. Stokes, when you left the coroner, had he completed his examination of the body?
Yes. He's of the opinion that Mrs. Dale drowned at some time around midnight last night. He thinks it was an accident.
Oh?
You disagree?
Well, I don't know. Yet. Tell me, who is this Martin you called to when you first came in?
Martin Dale, Joan's husband.
Do you know where he is?
Probably on his cruiser, which is anchored just offshore.
Didn't he live here with his wife?
Well, no. You see, they'd had a bad quarrel. Joan had the idea that Martin married her for her money.
I see. Do you know when they last saw each other?
Not exactly, but she did have an appointment to see him on board his cruiser late last night.
Late last night, eh? Maxie.
Yeah?
I think we'll take a little boat ride. All right, Maxie. Here's Dale's cruiser. Get on board and I'll follow.
Okay.
Up you go.
Okay, I'm on.
Now, give me a hand. That's it. Thanks.
Hey, what do you two think you're doing? Get off or I'll throw you out.
Sure. Come on, Bill.
No, Max, you don't mind, Mr. Dale. He's just kidding.
Kidding, huh? Okay, wise guy. You asked for it. I'll just go.
Gee, he didn't last long, did he?
No, Maxie. The trouble with him is he's big, but he's soft. Aren't you, Dale? Come on, up on your feet.
What do you want?
I've got some bad news, Dale. Your wife is dead.
Dead?
Yes. She was drowned late last night. Tell me, when did you see her last?
A couple of days ago.
You're lying, Dale.
Lying? Why, I ought to...
What?
Nothing.
That's better. Your wife was aboard this boat late last night, wasn't she?
Yes, I talked to her about a reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't in the mood. She'd lost a lot of money gambling with Nick Verrill.
Nick Verrill? Well, who's he?
He runs the Pelican Club at the end of the boardwalk.
Oh. Well, go on.
I tried to convince my wife to let me come back. She wouldn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to kiss her, and she struggled, then jumped off the boat and swam for shore. That's all I know.
That's all, eh? She had an ugly bruise on her head, Dale.
I don't know anything about it.
Maybe not. By the way, where can I get in touch with Nick Verrill?
Well, from 8 p.m. on, you can find him at his club. Before that, he's usually with his girlfriend, Carol Carson.
Carol Carson?
Carson?
Why, yes. Do you know her?
Yeah. You might say she was a passing acquaintance, huh, Bill?
Uh-huh. You know, Maxie, I think I'll pay her a visit this evening. Maybe we can get to be warm friends.
Nice view from the boardwalk, huh, Stokes?
Oh, Martin. What's wrong with your jaw?
I had a visitor on my boat, a man by the name of Desmond. Kind of funny his knowing that Joan had an appointment with me last night.
Well, now, wait a minute, Martin. Joan's death occurred under peculiar circumstances. Desmond asked me some questions, and I answered them.
Uh-huh. I got a couple of questions, too.
Yes?
As far as I know, the will Joan made after our marriage has never been changed. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Now, according to the terms of that will, I inherit her estate.
Go on.
I'm a little short right now. I've been running into some bad luck at Nick Barrow's. How about an advance? Well?
How much do you need?
$5,000.
Well, I guess I can let you have it.
Good.
Just one thing, Martin.
Yeah?
If Joan was murdered, you'd be the leading suspect.
So?
Now, I'm not saying that you're guilty. But if you were tried and convicted, you wouldn't inherit a penny. I'd be out $5,000.
Why, I'm surprised at you for bringing that up. After all, you'd only be out $5,000. As for me, I'd be out.
Hello?
Hello, Nick?
Yeah?
This is Martin Dale.
Oh, been waiting for you to get in touch. Got that dough you owe me?
Well, I've got $5,000, Nick.
$5,000. Told me you'd have it all by tonight.
I know, but now that Joan's dead, I'll need a little more time.
Sorry, Dale, your time's up tonight. Either you pay off or else they'll shovel you in with your wife.
But if you'll only wait,
I've waited long enough.
Now, look, Nick, give me a break, and I'll tell you something you should know. Okay?
I'm not making any promises, Dale, but spell it.
Well, there's a private detective from New York, a fellow by the name of Bill Desmond.
That's not news.
I know, but he was out on my boat this morning, and from what he said, I think he's got something on Carol.
Huh?
He said that he was going to see her this evening.
Oh.
Well, Nick, do I get more time?
Okay, Dale. If this tip turns out to be on the level, you can forget about tonight's deadline.
Getting kind of late, Nick. Aren't you going up the clock?
What's the matter, Carol? You anxious to get rid of me?
Of course not. Hey, what's wrong with you tonight?
Nothing. Why?
Well, you've been thoughtful all evening.
So, I've been thoughtful.
You're not usually when you're with me.
So?
I was just wondering if you were thinking of Joan Dale.
Why should I be thinking of her?
Oh, come on, Nick. You don't have to be cagey with me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I saw you go into her bungalow last night.
You know, you're way off base, baby.
Now, look, Nick, I'm sort of mixed up in this thing, too, and I figured that...
You expecting anyone, Carol?
No.
Okay, give me a minute to duck into the bedroom, then go see who it is.
Right. Just a minute.
Good evening.
Oh, the boy with the athletic eyes.
Yes, Desmond's the name. Bill to you.
Well, good night, Bill.
Just a moment, Carol. Don't close the door till I'm inside. There we are.
You get out of here.
Oh, not yet, darling. Nice place you've got here. You know, I'm beginning to think that your friend Nick Vere's a fool.
What do you mean?
Well, a setup like this, a girl like you, I'd be hanged if I desert you every night just for business.
If you don't mind, let's leave Nick out of this.
Suits me. As a matter of fact, I picked my time in coming to visit you to be sure I'd avoid running into him.
I see.
I figured we'd be more comfortable alone.
What do you want?
Don't. I didn't do anything.
I know, but I didn't like the way your hands were twitching.
Oh, that. That's nothing. I guess I smoke too much.
Yes, I guess you do. Suppose you cool off and tell me why you came here.
Okay. Tell me, why did you bury Joan Dale's body in the sand?
I didn't.
Did it have anything to do with Nick Vero?
I...
Well, don't stare like that. Talk. I said...
You shouldn't have hit him so hard, Nick.
Shut up.
But you shouldn't have hit him that way.
I said shut up.
It's the first time you ever hit me.
Yeah. It won't be the last time if you don't shut your trap. Help me tie this lug up. I'm going to feed him to the fishes.
Oh, Fuzzy!
Yep, what is it?
I've been looking high and low for my boss, Bill Desmond. Have you seen him?
Nope, ain't seen hide nor hair of him. Maybe he's gallivanting.
Wait a minute, Fuzzy. I thought I heard something.
Huh? I didn't hear that.
There it is again.
Hey, you're right. Someone's crying for help. Sounds like it comes from under my pier. Come on.
Okay.
This way, under the boardwalk.
Help!
Sounds like it comes from right over there. Wait, I'll put on my flashlight. There we are.
Holy Hannah. It's Bill.
Yep, so it is. Trussed up like a bundle of wash. And the tide coming in, too.
Help.
It's okay now, Bill.
Maxie?
Yeah, and Fuzzy Atkins.
I'll have you loosened. Just a second, Mr. Desmond. Just have to cut one more cord. There we are.
Can you get up, Bill?
Yes, I think so. Just give me your hand for a moment. Thanks.
Gee, I'm sure glad you're okay, Bill. Lucky Fuzzy and me heard you. Otherwise, you'd have been a goner.
Yep. The old devil in the sea might have gotten another one.
The old devil, Fuzzy?
Yeah, sure. Didn't believe in him much till I saw him get Mrs. Dale.
You saw a devil get Mrs. Dale?
Yep, sure did. I was up in my shack and I saw... Oh!
Bill, you okay?
Yes, Maxie. But Fuzzy's been hit.
Is he hurt bad?
He's dead, Maxie.
Dead? Who do you think killed him?
A devil, Maxie. A devil.
Boy, what a layout this Pelican Club has. Look at all the suckers just begging to be taken to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Did you see Nick, Bill?
No, Maxie. Let's try his private office.
Right. Here it is.
Better stand guard outside the door, Maxie. I don't want to be disturbed.
Okay.
Say, who do you think... Bill Desmond.
Yes, Carol, what's the matter? You act as though you're looking at a ghost. Keep both hands on top of the table, darling.
Oh, you got me wrong, Bill. I wasn't going to pull a gun.
Maybe not. But suppose you come around here, away from the desk.
Okay.
That's better. I suppose it must have handed you quite a laugh when Nick crept up behind me and let me have it.
I didn't laugh, Bill.
No? After he threw me into the pier, you might at least have gotten in touch with Maxie.
No, I couldn't. Nick made me stick close to him till just a little while ago. As soon as he left, I called your hotel, but Maxie was out.
Mm-hmm. You're fast on your feet, aren't you?
You don't believe me?
What do I look like, little boy blue?
It's the truth, Bill, honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, never mind that now. Where'd Nick go?
I don't know.
Now, look, Carol. I've got a bump on my head the size of an egg. My wrists and ankles are raw from the ropes cutting into them. I'm in no mood for stalling around.
I'm afraid Nick will kill me.
Now, don't worry. I won't tell him how I found out. Well?
He went to see Stokes at his hotel, the Shore Plaza.
Honest?
Yes.
Okay, sweetheart, I'll buy it. For your sake, I hope this isn't another sellout.
You really expect to find Nick here, Bill?
I don't know, Maxie.
You don't know? Well, I do. I'll bet you that...
Yes? Oh, it's you, Desmond, and Mr. Davis.
Oh, yes, Stokes. Tell me, is Nick Vero with you?
Nick? Why, no.
I told you, Bill. I knew she was lying.
Quiet, Maxie.
Okay.
Do you mind if we come in for a few minutes, Stokes?
Well, I'm sorry, Desmond, but I'm rather busy.
Sorry, too. I want in.
Now that you're in, what do you want?
Well, Nick Vero. Shame on you. A big boy like you hiding behind the door. No wonder Stokes was so nervous. That gun of yours is almost as ugly looking as you.
Close your big yap, Desmond, or I'll fill your teeth with lead. Until this half-pint sidekick of yours will close that door.
Do as he says, Maxie.
Sure.
That's better. Now, what did you want, Desmond?
Oh, I want to talk to you about a number of things. For instance, why you conked me earlier this evening and left me under the pier for fish bait.
Me? You're nuts.
Oh, I don't think so, Nick. Tell me, did you really want me to end up like Mrs. Dale?
Look, Desmond, if you think I killed Mrs. Dale, you're off your trolley.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Carol Corson thought you might have had something to do with it. That's why she buried the body in the sand.
Carol acts like a dumb little twist sometimes. For instance, she shouldn't have told you I was here.
She didn't.
Maybe not. Well, Desmond, anything else you'd like to ask me before I go?
No, Nick. But if I think of something, I'll call on you.
Yeah, do that. I'll give you a warm reception. Okay, you guys, just stay where you are. I'm leaving.
Should we follow him, Bill?
No, Maxie. That would play right into his hands. Stokes.
Yes, Desmond?
What did Nick want with you?
Well, he came to see me about Mrs. Dale's gambling debt. It seems that she owed him about $50,000.
As much as that, eh?
That's what he says. Now that she's dead and he can't collect it legally, he wanted me to pay it out of her estate.
What did you tell him?
Well, naturally, I told him that was impossible. He didn't like that.
I guess not.
He told me I'd have to pay up or else he'd kill me.
What's the matter with you, Bill? Ever since we returned to our rooms, you've been pacing up and down like a stud bug. I thought you said you were going to undress and hit the hay.
Yes, I know, Maxie, but I can't get this case out of my mind. The solution keeps eluding me.
It does? Well, I think it's a cinch.
Oh, you do, eh?
Sure, look. Mrs. Dale probably drowned swimming in from her husband's boat.
How about Fuzzy Atkins?
Well, Nick was sore because Fuzzy helped pull you out of the water.
No, Maxie, that won't wash.
But who else could have killed him? That old devil in the sea he was babbling about?
That old devil in the sea. Wait. Maybe Fuzzy wasn't babbling.
Huh?
Yes. It could tie in with those ashes we found in Mrs. Dale's fireplace. Why, of course.
Of course what?
Maybe. Oh. See who it is, Maxie.
Okay.
Bill in, Maxie.
Oh, Miss Carson.
Who's that? Carol?
Yes, Bill. I've got to talk to you.
Good Lord, what's happened? You look as though you've been through a meat grinder.
Nick gave me a beating.
Why, the dirty...
He was sore because I told you he'd gone to Stokes. Well, I'm going to give him lots more to be sore about.
Yes?
Nick was in Joan Dale's bungalow last night. I don't know if he saw her, but he took some of her papers.
How do you know?
I saw her name on the envelope just before he put them in his desk.
I see. Come on, Maxie. I want to take a peek into that desk.
How you make it out, Bill?
I think we'll be in Nick's office presently, Maxie, unless I've lost all my skill with a skeleton key. There. That does it. Now, careful, Maxie, when you close the door.
Okay.
Now, the flashlight. That's it. Uh-huh. There's the desk. Hold the light on the top center drawer.
Right.
That's it. This should be easy to force in the door. I'll just insert this near the lock and press down. Ah, that did it. Now, let's see what...
Hey, someone put the lights on.
Yeah, I did. Well, you looking for something, Desmond?
Well, if it isn't our gentle friend Nick and his friend, the automatic.
Yeah. This gun and me are good pals. It always does what I want. Desmond, I told you I'd give you a warm reception. Well, here it is.
That, Mr. Stokes, is what I call an entrance. Thanks.
Not at all, Desmond. Glad to be of service.
How is Nick, Maxie?
I think he's going to make some undertaker very happy.
Well, I don't think anyone will miss him. Now, let's see what's in that desk drawer. Ah, yes. There's Mrs. Dale's papers, all right.
May I have them, Desmond? As her executive, I'll need them to wind up her estate.
Certainly. Oh, by the way, may I have that gun? I'll turn it into the coroner and explain what happened.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Thanks. Now, would you mind taking off your shoes and socks?
What?
What's the matter with you, Bill? You nuts?
No, Maxie. I just want to prove that Mr. Stokes is guilty of murder. Hey, what time is it, Maxie?
7 a.m. Hey, what's the idea of setting the alarm clock?
I've got a date at the beach with Carol Carson. Where the devil are my swim trunks?
Wait a minute. I didn't get a chance to talk to you last night. Why did Stokes commit those murders?
Well, he'd embezzled a good deal of Mrs. Dale's money. She'd been checking her accounts and discovered the discrepancies. That's why her desk blotter was full of figures.
Oh. But how did he drown her in the ocean?
He didn't. That is, in the ocean. He drowned her in her bathtub after first knocking her unconscious.
Uh-huh.
Then he carried her under the boardwalk and the old fishing pier.
I see. So Stokes was really the old devil of the sea that Fuzzy saw.
Exactly. Now, where in blazes are those swim trunks?
So how about Nick?
Oh, Nick. Well, when he was in Mrs. Dale's bungalow, he came across her papers with notations on Stokes' embezzlement. Then he went after Stokes, not for Mrs. Dale's gambling debt, but for blackmail.
Oh, I get it. Now, one thing more, Bill. Why did you want Stokes to take off his shoes and socks?
Well, if you remember, the beach was covered with spots of tar.
Uh-huh.
When Stokes carried Mrs. Dale into the pier in the dark, he got tar all over his feet and legs. And that stuff is almost impossible to get off.
Oh.
When he got back to her bungalow, he tried cleaning it off with a towel. Then he burned the towel in the fireplace.
I see.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Maxie, I'll be off to meet Carol.
Bill.
Now what?
Before you go, don't you think you ought to put on your swim trunks?
Oh.
And so closes tonight's story, Death Swims at Midnight. James Erthine wrote the radio script. Roger Bauer produced and directed. Arthur Vinton played the part of Bill Desmond. Murray Forbes was Maxie Davis. Elspeth Eric was Carol Carson. Ralph Camargo was...
Mr. District Attorney, starring David Bryan. Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it shall be my duty as district attorney not only to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to defend with equal vigor the rights and privileges of all its citizens. This is David Bryan. In a moment, we'll bring you another case from the files of Mr. District Attorney. But first, a word from our sponsor.
And now, here is our star, David Bryan, as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
A modern gambling ring with its well-organized system of payoffs can be a tough nut for a district attorney to crack. But like little Davy Calero, syndicate enforcer for a big-time policy wheel and book operator, someone in the ring eventually makes the mistake of arousing unfavorable public opinion. Early one overcast Sunday morning, a big coupe rolls into the western entrance to a wooded park. A stunning blonde is driving.
Bridle path crosses the road just up ahead, Nicky. We'll wait here. Better put on gloves for this job.
Davy, killing a judge ain't smart. I don't like it.
All right, you already said that.
If I'd known it was this kind of job, I wouldn't have come along.
Don't touch that gun. Here, I'll take it. Only going to be one set of prints on this gun when the cops find it.
You going to hang it on Louis?
Any objection? The cops will remember how a sawed-off Betsy used to be Louis' trademark. And they'll remember how he blew his top when Judge Power sentenced him. Told the judge he'd look him up when he got out. Hey, there's the judge now. Start her up, baby.
Davy, I tell you, this is no...
Start that motor.
Davy!
Now, quick. Up by that crossing. Nearer, baby. Hold it like that. This is the last ride His Honor will ever take. Now get out of here fast. If the boys picked up Louis on schedule, we'll get his prints on this gun and Hey, look out! The curb! Just dumb stalwarts, watch where you're driving. That's a fresh-painted curb.
You hurt me, Davy, and I'm scared.
Morning, Chief. Too bad to call you out on Sunday. Yeah, it goes along with the job, Harrington. Need all this area roped off?
Well, there's skid marks and a tire curb rub over there.
Yeah, good enough. Judge Tower, eh?
Yeah. Took the body in about 5 minutes ago. The medical examiner thinks it was a shotgun job. Let you know later.
Good friend of mine, the judge. Fine man. Didn't make him any better. Dirty, lousy rats.
Gang job, huh?
I don't know, Harrington. Never pays to jump to conclusions. But I do know that no man was more hated and feared by the mobs. He knew that, but he wouldn't have a bodyguard.
You'd think he'd have seen the handwriting on the wall, Chief.
Yeah, especially with Jiggs Minetti held in protective custody and bound over to the grand jury. Yeah. What you got on it?
I go along with the police. They think Louis Cato did the job.
It could be. Who found the judge?
Some people named McDonald, man and wife, on their way to church.
You talk with them?
Yeah, got their address. They both heard 2 shots at the time. They thought it was a truck backfiring, and they just kept driving along. And they saw the judge lying at the edge of the road right over there.
What time was this?
8:30, about a half hour ago.
No other witnesses?
No, not yet anyway. McDonald said that just before they got here, they passed a car going in the other direction. Big coupe or sedan, not sure which. Black. You want the lad crew on those skid marks, Chief?
Also on that curb. He started check up on service stations and garages in this area. From the looks, some of that red paint rubbed off on the tire.
Oh, I didn't call Miss Miller. Didn't know whether you'd need her or not.
We'll get along. Let's not interrupt her day of rest. I'll be at the office in about an hour, Harrington. After I get the medical examiner's report, I'm going to question Jiggs Manetti. Doubt if he'll talk. He might drop a lead, though.
Chief, I still think this job was signed.
Who signed it?
The hood the police have the APB out for. Louis Cato.
Wow, Miss Miller.
Good morning, Mr. Garrett.
Oh, I didn't expect. I told Harrington not to call you.
He didn't. I heard the radio report. I knew you'd be flooded with calls. I found this note from Harrington.
Well, thanks. He's over with the police, searching Louis Cato's room.
All kinds of messages have been coming in for you, Mr. Garrett. Here's the list of calls.
Well, look who's here. Changed your mind, eh, Chief?
No, she came in on her own accord.
Well, how about that? Beats all how she brightens this place up.
Oh, aren't you sweet, Harrington?
I got your note. Find anything over there?
Plenty. Exhibit A, an old sawed-off shotgun in Cato's room closet. Half a dozen shells.
And that's the murder weapon. Louis not as smart as I thought. Now, did you find anything else?
Yeah, this snapshot. Found it in the coat pocket, same closet. Nifty little doll, huh?
Not bad. Taken some time ago, I'd say. What's the style of that dress, Miss Miller?
Oh, about 10 years ago, 10 or 12.
Think she looks like a blonde?
Well, ask Louis if and when he's picked up. Let's give McDonald a look at this snapshot, Harrington.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Chief.
Now, let's go. Oh, Miss Miller.
Yes?
Glad you came in.
I call that fast work, Chief. It's only 4 o'clock, and they just brought Louis Cato in here to headquarters.
Did you tell him we'd be in Captain Donovan's office?
Yep. They'll have him in here in a minute.
You ought to know more about this snapshot than your man McDonald did, Harrington.
Well, that car was going pretty fast, and...
Yeah, sure, I know.
Here's your man, Mr. Garrett.
Thanks, Rooney. Wait outside, please.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, Louis. That chair. Smoke?
Never mind.
So they picked you up across the river.
Yeah. At Harriman Square, Chief.
Thought you could get away with it, eh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The murder of Judge Tower.
Look, I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Got an alibi?
Now, how could I? They rigged it against me. You can't have an alibi when it's rigged against you.
Who rigged it?
I don't know.
If you didn't get the judge, why did you duck out, Louis?
I got nothing more to say.
Take a look at this snapshot, Louis. We're going to call on her next.
Hey, where'd you get this?
You know her?
Now, look, you guys let her alone, you see? She done nothing about this. You keep away from her.
What's her name, Louis?
Never mind.
We can find out easily enough.
If you promise to leave her alone, I'll tell you.
No promises. We'll have Captain Donovan's boys find her.
Okay, I'll tell you. Her name is Nicky Brendan. But if you think she knows something about that job, you're crazy. Now, look, I've been nice. I told you her name. You let her alone, huh?
All right, Rooney. Take him away.
Yes, sir. Hey, can I keep this picture?
Sorry, Louis. We may need it. Harrington, get over across the river and talk to the arresting officer. Find somebody else in the square if you can who saw Louis.
Right, Chief. What about this dame?
I'm going to have her traced. Get on the job, Harrington. Fast.
District Attorney's office. Good morning, Captain. No, he's not yet. Oh, you bet I will. Just let me get a pencil. All right. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I got it. Oh, that's a switch. So thank you, Captain. Oh, good morning, Mr. Garrett.
Good morning, Miss Miller. How are you today?
Just fine, thanks.
Aren't you in yet?
He's down at ballistics. Captain Donovan just phoned about Nicky Brendan. I'd better read my notes to you. They're in shorthand.
All right.
31 years old, originally from Albany. One charge of shoplifting there, Nal Prost. Here's one for the book, Mr. Garrett. She races jalopies there.
What else?
Was a girlfriend of Louis Cato until he went to prison. Since then, a friend of little Davy Caleros. That's all I have.
Good morning, Harrington.
Morning, Chief. Hey, the photo blow-ups from the lab. Louis Cato's fingerprints.
Prints taken from gun stock on set. No prints on the forestock or the barrels.
They didn't give me anything on that.
Miss Miller, call the lab. Tell them I want to blow up on the exact position of those fingerprints on that gun.
Yes, sir.
Now, Harrington, let's go talk to a blonde.
Anytime, Chief. Nice place, Chief.
Yeah. Costs money to live in one of these apartments.
Who is it?
District Attorney. Open the door, please. You Nicky Brendan?
Yeah. Did you say district attorney?
And assistant. Mind if we come in?
Look, Chief, on the map. Mugshot of Calero. Must have been taken in the show-up line.
Don't get smart. All right, what is it?
I'll be brief, Nicky. Why did Louis get Judge Tower?
Who?
Louis Cato.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
We heard a woman was driving the getaway car. How about it?
Well, don't talk to me. There's lots of women in this town. Go talk to some of them. They might know. I don't.
Well. Hiya, Davy.
Didn't know you had company, baby.
They invited themselves in. They can leave any time.
How's the syndicate doing, Davy?
What syndicate?
You kidding?
We thought Nicky might know the triggermen on the park job.
You know, Davy. Judge Tower.
Why would she know?
Maybe you know.
Yeah, I do.
What?
This extra's just out. Look at that headline.
Ex-con confesses Tower murder. Cato admits guilt.
How do you like that?
Anything else you guys want to know?
Keep in touch with us, Davy. There might be. This is David Bryan. Before we continue with Mr. District Attorney in the case of the Bridle Path murder, here is an important message from our sponsor.
And now, back to David Bryan, starring as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
When Louis Cato was paroled from prison, the word was that he was going straight. But because he threatened Judge Tower after being sentenced some years before, Louis was arrested shortly after the judge was murdered. Although all the evidence pointed to Louis, I believed his story that he'd been rigged or framed. But while I was questioning Nicky Brendan, his one-time moll, in walked her current boyfriend, little Davy Calero, with an extra edition that told of Louis' confession. Now, back at the office...
There's a tape of Louis Cato's confession in your office, Mr. Garrett. Captain Donovan sent it over.
And we'd better hear it, Harry.
Yep.
Now, hold any calls that aren't important.
Yes, sir.
Put it on, Harry.
Right away, Chief.
Miss Miller?
Yes?
How soon will the lab have those new fingerprint blow-ups up here?
Well, they should be here soon, Mr. Garrett.
Call him again. I want it rushed.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, Chief?
Yeah.
Here she goes. All right, Louis.
My name is Louis Cato. I killed Judge Tower. I say this of my own free will, under no coercion. No coercion. I killed him with a shotgun in the park. I was hiding in the bushes. When he rode his horse past where I was, I fired both barrels. Then I put the shotgun under my coat. I walked back to my room. That is all.
Confession of Louis Cato at police headquarters on the date of August 19th.
Shut it off. So he walked back to his room. That means he must have walked to the park.
What do you make of it, Chief?
And so much baloney.
I'll buy that.
Look, Harrington, we're going to bear down. I want every service station and garage for a mile around the park area checked.
Will do, Chief. But those skid marks and curb rubs, well, they just could have been made by a Sunday driver.
We'll find out. And I want Davy Calero tailed. Spot the station where he has his car serviced. Get me a full report on his car. Where he goes, what he does, whom he talks to. The works.
You are bearing down.
Now, don't kid yourself, Harrington. There's plenty more to this than a punk triggerman making good a threat. The syndicate's behind it. If we can trap that gang of rats, we're going to do it. Yeah?
Those new blow-ups are here, Mr. Garrett.
I'll be right out. If you want me within the next hour, Harrington, I'll be over at the city jail. I'm going to talk to Louis again. I'll be just a minute, Hagen. Seem natural to be back in, Louis?
Never mind.
Well, this is a tougher rap than holding up a supermarket.
If you think I'm going to talk, you're wrong.
I'll do most of the talking. That shotgun the police found in your room closet. Was that the one you used?
Yeah.
Show me how you picked up the gun when you shot the judge.
What do you mean, how'd I pick it up?
By the barrel? By the stock?
I don't know, I just picked it up.
With one hand?
No, with both hands. But what's this all about?
You were holding it upside down when you fired, weren't you?
Who's going to fire a gun upside down?
Then show me how you were holding it.
Never mind, never mind.
I said show me, Louis.
Hey, why don't you leave me alone?
According to the one set of fingerprints on that gun, you were holding it upside down.
You're crazy.
I'll make a guess, Louis. That mobster who wanted your fingerprints on that gun was in such a hurry, he didn't notice he handed it to you upside down, right?
No.
You didn't kill Judge Tower.
Look, I did. I swear I did. What are you trying to do?
Keep you out of the hot seat, Louis. But unless you talk out of the right side, the odds are 100 to 1 against you.
You talked to Louis again, Chief?
Oh, not since the other day. Donovan questioned him this morning, at my request. Couldn't shake his story. Louis says he killed the judge, and then clams up.
Well, maybe we'll find something at this garage.
We most there?
Yep, around the next corner. Garage and tire recap shop. Got overlooked in the first checkup.
You spotted it this noon?
Yeah, mostly by luck. Drove in for gasoline. Boss was out to lunch. The kid said sure he knew my pal Davy Calero. Said Davy tipped him $5 for putting on 4 new tires last Monday.
Yeah, might be it, Harrington.
Kid didn't know what the boss had done with the old set. Oh, there's the place, Chief. Anderson's.
Drive right up in.
I didn't see the lab report. Were there any tire specs on the curb?
Yes, white sidewalls. Are you Anderson?
That's right. What can I do for you?
A couple of minutes of your time. I'm the district attorney. Here's my identification.
Uh-oh. What have I done that's wrong?
As far as I know, nothing. Is Davy Calero a customer of yours?
Yeah, he comes in here.
Regular customer?
We service his car. He lives just off the boulevard over there.
What does he drive?
The car's over in the wash rack now. That big coupe.
I'll go look it over, Chief.
All right. Understand Calero had 4 new tires put on last Monday.
That's right.
Did he buy them here?
Yeah. Yeah, he bought him here. Say, I hope it's okay to tell you all this. You know, he's a good customer. I don't want to...
Wouldn't it be okay if you didn't?
Oh, no offense, mister.
You got the other tires?
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't you know?
Yeah, we get a lot of them. Hard to keep track of all of them. Maybe we already recapped them. We'll take a look in the shop.
You wash tires before you recap them?
That's right. We do here. We do a good job.
Solution?
That's right. My own formula. Cleans off dirt, stains, just like that.
Paint too?
Yeah, sure. You got white sidewalls, you ought to try my formula, mister. Let's see, that'd be 760-15. I'll take a look.
Well, that could be the car, Chief. You want help with the lab?
No, not yet, Harrington. Maybe later.
I got the information on it.
Here they are, mister. All recap. Give you a good deal on it.
Well, there'll be no deal, Anderson. I'll see you don't lose anything, though. Have the lab crew pick them up, Harrington.
Right.
It's a long shot, but it's the only one we've got.
I know a good restaurant out along the shore, baby. I get some lunch by the ocean, maybe you'll feel better.
Did they bring over the car?
Anderson said he'd have it here by 2 o'clock. It's after 2 now.
Well, I don't see it.
Those bums. They never get nothing done on time. Well, I'll go back up and call them.
We can walk to the garage, Davy. Come on.
They're always late.
All right. It ain't important.
Anyway, it's got you talking again, baby. Last couple of days I began to think you lost your voice.
Davy, how do you figure?
Figure what?
You know, Louis K.O. signed his name to that job.
I told you a half dozen times, Nicky. Maybe he thinks the job was too well rigged against him. And if he takes the rep, the syndicate will get him a mouthpiece, get him out of the chair.
I wonder.
Okay, you figure it.
You think Louis knows we was in on it?
He's got an idea. He knows I'm the enforcer.
Well, I mean, do you think he knows I was in on it?
What's the difference what he knows, baby? Now, liven up a little, will you? Come on, liven up.
I can't, Davy. It don't feel right.
You're going out looking for trouble? Look, Louis signed it. That's all there is.
Yeah, but those cops coming to my place.
They have to make that job look good. We ain't got a thing to worry about. There's the car. The kid's still working on it.
I hope you're right, Davy. About not worrying. But there's another thing. Those tires. I wish you'd had them burn. When I scraped that
I tell you, we're in the clear now. Shut up about it. Hey, Anderson, ain't you got any idea of time?
I'm sorry, Mr. Clary. Want to do a good polish job for you, too.
Okay. Always excuses. Come on, let's get going, baby.
I want to take those other tires along, Davy. Put them in the...
Listen,
I ain't kidding. I mean it. Please.
Okay. Bring them out, Anderson. The tires I turned in for these.
They're not here, Mr. Clary.
Sell them?
Oh, no. The police car came and picked them up.
Oh? Well, get my car and hurry.
She's wise to anything, Chief. She may not come to the door.
We'll get in. Open the door, Nicky.
We know you're in there.
I don't be in such a hurry. What do you want? Hey, quit shoving, will you? You've got no manners at all.
Nicky, I understand you drove in jalopy races in Albany.
So what if I did?
You won a lot of them, too, they tell me. You're a good driver. Good enough to be on the syndicate payroll.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll find out right away, Blondie.
And I can't understand you rubbing that curb, Nicky. That was a big mistake. Because the police lab crew found a couple of tiny specks of red paint left on the tire. The same paint that was on that curb.
What are you trying to say?
That you drove the getaway car from the murder of Judge Tower.
That's a lie. I don't know anything about it.
You were seen, Nicky. You were crying.
I tell you, it's a lie. You got Louis Cato. He talks. He's the trigger man.
I've checked Louis all along the line. He's straight.
Only thing wrong is him doing a Galahad for a dame like you. He must be real dumb.
Where's Davy?
I don't know.
Chief, She looked at the closet door.
I'll see.
No, he ain't in there.
Watch it. No, you're not. Got out technique, copper.
Put down the gun, Davy.
Stand back. Back or I'll let you have it.
You can't get away, Davy. The police are out in the corridor.
They got the building surrounded, too.
I told you to burn those tires, Davy. I should have gone back to Louis. I should have gone back.
There we are. Good work, Harrington.
Okay, I'll go along.
Put on your coat, Nicky. You're going along, too. It's the end of the road for both of you. This is David Bryan again. I hope you've enjoyed this case from the file of Mr. District Attorney. I'll be back in just a moment after this message from our sponsor.
Now, here's the star of Mr. District Attorney, David Bryan, with a word about the program you have just heard.
You may remember the case. Nicky talked. So did Jiggs Minetti. And we not only got all the goods on little Davy Calero, but we put enough of the syndicate big guns behind the bars to break the organization. Davy was convicted of murder in the first degree. Nicky got 20 years. When crime gets too big, it gets careless. Then the law takes over. Always. And now this is David Bryan inviting you to join us when we present our next case based on the facts of crime from the files of Mr. District Attorney.
Mr. District Attorney was originated by Phillips H. Lord.
Now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories. Gangbusters.
Tonight, the case of the brothers in banditry who thought the way to social standing was money, and the way to money was crime. Until they learned that even the highest polish leaves a mark.
Gangbusters has asked the Honorable John J. Grosh, now criminal sheriff, Orleans Parish, and former chief of detectives, New Orleans, Louisiana, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of brothers in banditry.
Sheriff Grosh, I know you have a lot to tell us tonight, so suppose you start right in.
All right, Don Gardner. I think the place to begin would be a few years ago in Hollywood, California. In a room at one of the fashionable apartment hotels, a young man and a young woman were dancing, while a portable phonograph hummed out the rhythm of the latest rage from South America, the samba.
That's it. That's it. Now you got it.
This is fun.
All right, now stay with it. Stay with it. Sure, you got it.
Oh, darn it.
All right, now come on, honey. Come on, it's simple.
Oh, no, not now, Val. Later, maybe. Turn it off.
Sure, Lydia. Anything you say.
I get one of these dances all set, and then they come out with a new one. I've just got to sit down.
I think I've got some ice in there. I'll fix you a nice cool drink.
No, thanks, Val. Sit down here with me.
Oh, sure, baby.
Cleveland's going to be awfully dull without you, Val.
Well, then stick around Hollywood.
No, I've been here long enough without anything happening. My father gave me a year. If you're not in pictures by then, he said, come home. So, back to the social world in Cleveland. That's me.
Well, maybe I'll drop into Cleveland someday. Would you like that?
Would I like that?
Oh, answer that, will you, Lydia?
Oh, What's yours? Answer it yourself.
No, go ahead, honey. Whoever it is, tell him I won't be back till Tuesday. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Hand me the phone.
Sure.
Hello?
Is this Ralph Oliver's room?
Well,
Well, is it or isn't it?
yes, it is.
Now, let me talk to Ralph.
Well, he's not here right now.
Oh, when do you expect him back?
I don't know exactly. Tuesday, maybe.
Tuesday. Look, where can I get in touch with him? This is his brother. I just got in town, and I...
Hey, give me that phone.
Sure.
Hey, Lord, you old pelican, how are you?
Oh, great, Ralph. Say, what's the idea? Tuesday.
When'd you get in town?
Just a little while ago. What are you doing tonight?
Well, we were just thinking about getting dinner, Lord. Meet us, and then you can come back here and stay with me.
Well, sure. What do they serve the biggest steaks in town?
At the El Dorado Club. We'll see you there in a half an hour.
Fine. In case you don't remember the base, look for a sailor suit with a stripe and a half.
Well, J.G., so you finally made it.
Well, one way or another.
Oh, why didn't you write me?
Well, I'll tell you all about it. Don't be late. I'm hungry as a bear.
Oh, Lawton, that's wonderful.
Yeah, my CO didn't think it was so wonderful.
I never had such a good time. Why didn't you tell me about this kid brother of yours, Ralph?
I've always kept him a secret. He's a woman stealer. And he's so young, too.
Ah, don't let him kid you, Lydia. There's only a year between us. Besides, I have only one love, and that's the Navy.
Would you care for another brandy, Lydia?
No, thank you, Ralph. I think I'll just go powder my nose.
No, I like it. That's the way it is.
You won't miss me. As a matter of fact, I feel in the way. You must have lots to talk about. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. Nice girl.
She'll do, Lord.
Rich family?
Rich enough.
How are you doing otherwise?
It's a struggle. Say, tell me something, will you?
What?
How come they jump you from machinist mate second class to Lieutenant J.G. in a year?
Navy promotions are too slow, Ralph. I decided to promote myself.
Oh?
I'm not in the Navy anymore. I just like the uniform.
Honorable discharge?
The other kind.
If they catch you wearing that uniform, it'll go tough on you.
Yeah, they won't catch me. I move too fast.
Do you have to move too fast?
Oh, wouldn't you, if you had a bunch of bum checks trailing you?
Yeah. But you got to be careful, kid.
Oh, I'm careful. Well, where do we go from here?
I don't know. You're the host.
Huh? Me?
Well, didn't you invite me out to dinner?
Oh, sure, but I'm kind of short tonight.
Of money, you mean?
What else?
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
I've only got $7 to my name.
Beat me. I've only got $5.
That's not much help. Check will be over $30 with all the drinks.
What about Lydia?
Forget it.
Oh, she's well heeled. Couldn't you tell her you left your wallet home?
Forget it. I'm saving her for a bigger touch.
Yeah, but she's going on to Cleveland tomorrow.
And I'm going to Cleveland soon.
Well, what are we going to do? Hey, how about you and I fighting over who's going to pay?
That's got whiskers.
Well, how about getting sick or spilling food or something?
Hey, call that head waiter over here.
What's the idea?
Just call him.
All right. Captain?
Oui, monsieur. One moment.
Now, when he gets here, tell him what a fine dinner we had and ask him to bring the check.
But, Ralph,
Do as I tell you. Here he comes.
Can I be of service, Monsieur Lieutenant?
Yeah, the dinner was excellent. Just right.
Oh, thank you, monsieur.
May I have the check, please?
Oui, monsieur, in a moment.
Say, isn't that Joe Davis? Excuse me.
Oh, it is nothing, monsieur. I will have the check in a moment.
Now, tell me how that helped us, other than to bring the axe down quicker.
The check will be over $30. Here, be a liberal tipper. Give him 40.
Where'd you get all that dough?
From the head waiter. But he doesn't know it yet.
Ralph, how long you been picking pockets?
His is the first one. But when I have to, I can do anything and do it good.
Well, let's get out of here before he misses that one.
As soon as Lydia comes back, we'll take her home. Then I want to talk over a few things with you. Okay, Lord, let's turn in, huh? It's late.
I've just been sitting here thinking, Ralph.
What's there to think about? Aren't you sick of wondering where your next dollar is coming from? I am. I want to live off the fat of the land.
Well, who doesn't?
You came along just in time, kid. I was about to look for somebody to help me.
Okay. You can count on your kid, brother.
Good. I throw away that sailor suit, and we go into business. A nice little business. Sort of capital gains. We invest a few dollars in some guns, run them to a fortune.
You know, Ralph, when you're cashing bum checks or even picking pockets, they don't look for you too hard. Robbery's something else.
Look, Lot, when there's a holdup, the police look for criminals. We're not criminals. And we'll pick a town we both know well, like New Orleans. We'll do what we have to do, then get out immediately. Go to some place where we're respected citizens.
Like Cleveland?
Like Cleveland. We stay there and have a good time until we're ready for another business trip. Back to New Orleans.
2540, 1382.
Good morning, miss.
Good morning.
We'd like to see Mr. Florison.
Who's calling, please?
Detective Sanders and King, New Orleans Police Department.
Oh, one moment, please.
Yes?
Mr. Florissant, Detective Sanders and King of the police department to see you.
To see me?
Yes, sir. They're right here.
Well, send them in. Are you about finished making up that deposit?
About, sir. I'll bring it in when it's ready. Mr. Florence's office is the first one on the right.
Thank you very much. Come on.
Well, I hope we get away with it.
We will. Don't worry. All right, Lot.
Well, here's luck.
Mr. Florison?
Yes?
I'm Detective Sanders. This is Detective King. We hate to trouble you when you're busy.
Well, that's all right if there's anything I can do for you.
We'd like to do something for you.
For me?
Yes, sir. You're in the habit of making a large bank deposit every Wednesday morning at 11.
Well, that's right. As a matter of fact, the deposit's about ready now.
We had a tip from an informer last night. And this informer thinks two bandits plan to hold you up today on your way to the bank.
Really?
The lieutenant doesn't put much stock in the report, but he sent us to escort you to the bank.
Oh, fine.
I have the deposit, Mr. Florissant.
Oh, good. I'll take it, please.
Oh, would you bring back some deposit slips, sir?
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Florissant.
And another thing, Mr. Florissant, either we or other detectives will continue to escort you to the bank every Wednesday for 3 or 4 weeks, just to play safe.
Oh, I'll be glad to have you, believe me.
All right, we'll take the money.
But that's all right. I can carry it.
He meant we'll take it.
What? Get him up. Please, no, don't.
I've got it. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, miss.
Yes, sir?
Mr. Florissant asked me to tell you that we're escorting him to the bank in a half hour. He doesn't want to be disturbed until we return.
Oh, I won't disturb him.
Good. Come on, Sergeant.
That, Don, was how Ralph and Lawton Oliver staged their first robbery in New Orleans. They were delighted at their success. But the brothers soon learned it's seldom that even the most ingenious schemes fool the police.
Now, back to Gangbusters. You were telling us, Sheriff Grosh, that the brothers Ralph and Lawton Oliver had worked out an elaborate scheme to stage robberies in New Orleans, then leave town before the police could make headway in their investigation.
That's right, Don. And at least a half dozen cleverly executed robberies were committed in quick succession. After the last one, they planned to leave for Cleveland, where they'd make the rounds as respectable citizens. Lawton was waiting on a busy New Orleans corner for his brother when a brand-new Cadillac sedan pulled to a stop.
Lord! Hey, Lord! Come on, get in.
Ralph! Where the devil did you get this?
How do you like it?
Hey, some hunk of automobile.
How do you like that power?
Oh, come on. Whose is it? Don't tell me somebody left it standing there with the keys in it.
It's ours.
Ours?
Yours and mine. We're going to Cleveland in style.
You mean you bought it?
Right off the floor.
Oh, now stop kidding, will you? This car must cost $3,500 at least.
36 and a quarter.
Oh, honest, Ralph.
We'll make it up. What's money? Besides, the Cadillac's going to pay for itself.
Yeah? How?
Well, I figured out one more job for us before we kiss New Orleans goodbye. And we can use the car for it.
But what about the plates? It's registered in our name.
Oh, license plates are a dime a dozen, so we get a dozen. Then who knows it's our car? Then we head straight for Cleveland with a brand new Cadillac, free and clear.
That's my brother.
Well, Inspector, I checked up on the license plates.
Huh?
Stolen.
You didn't expect anything different, did you?
No, but I was hoping.
Where was the car stolen from, Sergeant?
I don't know about the car. The plates taken off a 1940 Chevy.
Some difference. Any reports on a new Cadillac sedan being stolen?
I couldn't find any, Inspector. Not in any place in the state.
Ah.
If anyone's missing a brand new Cadillac, they certainly ought to squawk about it. No, couldn't be.
You mean you were thinking these bandits might own that car and just have stolen the plates?
Yeah, but why do they need to buy a car?
Sergeant, these two men seem to have a way of their own and a purpose of their own. They're well-spoken, polished, and a little too confident. Why shouldn't they buy a Cadillac if they want one?
If they did, it shouldn't be too hard to trace.
Look into the state registrations for the last week or two. There won't be too many Cadillacs of that model listed.
Yes, sir. I'll get right on it.
Lydia.
What?
You've been unfaithful.
Unfaithful?
Yes. You've been taking samba lessons from somebody else.
Well, I never expected to see you in Cleveland, Ralph.
Well, I promised I'd be here, didn't I?
That was a Hollywood promise.
You don't know how I dreamed about seeing you again. How I couldn't wait to get here and then to hold you in my arms.
Dancing?
Not just dancing. Lydia, look. Look, now I'll be here 2 weeks. I want to see you every day and every night. Now, where are we going tomorrow afternoon?
That's up to you.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I'm busy.
Oh, what's his name? A murderer.
Let's sit down, Ralph.
What's the matter with tomorrow night?
Well, you can see me if you want to. It's up to you. This is our table, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean, if I want to?
Tomorrow night's the annual charity ball.
Well, I believe in charity.
It so happens that I'm on the ticket committee.
Congratulations. I'll take 2 tickets. How much are they?
Whatever you want to give.
Well, I'll take 2 at $500 apiece.
Oh, that's very generous, Ralph, but I've already got mine.
Okay. I'll still take 2. Lawton won't want to stay in the hotel room. My whole family believes in charity.
All right, my goodness. No rooms vacant, Mr. Wells. Full up.
I don't want a room.
Then what do you want?
Do you have a roomer named Oliver?
Who are you, bill collector?
No.
Oh, then come in.
Thanks.
Well, did you want Ralph Oliver or Lawton Oliver?
Oh, there's 2 of them.
Brothers. Nicest boys you ever saw. High-toned.
I see. Where's their room?
They ain't in New Orleans no more. Who are you, anyway? An insurance salesman?
I'm a police officer, ma'am.
Police officer?
When'd they leave?
Well, Friday, I think it was. Yeah, Friday, because Mr. Hunter Clark moved in on Friday.
Never mind, Mr. Clark. You know where they went?
Well, traveling, they said. But if you ask me, it was Cleveland.
Oh?
Ralph, that is, got a fiancée in Cleveland. You must be making a mistake about those boys. They're nice boys.
Did Ralph get mail from Cleveland?
Some. Now, see here, you don't think I go around reading my roomers' mail?
Well, I'm sure you don't.
Well, it was from Cleveland. High society gal. She writes on good stationery, so you're after the wrong man. Anybody who has a high society gal don't go mixing up with the police. You don't want the Oliver boys for nothing. They're very high type.
Yes, I know. Very high type. Now, please, show me the room they occupied.
Well, I'll show it to you, but you won't find nothing there. I clean it every day. Every day. Right this way.
$1,000, Ralph. $1,000 for tickets.
It's an investment.
Well, how long do you think the money's going to hold out? We've been here 2 days, and you've already spent nearly $2,000.
Well, there's plenty more where we got this.
Sure, back in New Orleans or someplace, but we're in Cleveland. You're dated up for 2 weeks.
Lord.
What?
You know, associating with these people here gives you a lot of inside information. Now, the hotel across the street, for instance. Did you know that every Monday night the wealthiest businessmen in town amuse themselves with a game of poker? A game of poker for high stakes in room 1102?
Oh, who cares?
That's the next game, Lord. They're going to deal us in. And we'll wind up the only winners.
Ralph, we decided not to work in Cleveland. This is for fun.
I've got it all figured out.
Well, this is going against everything we decided.
We wear masks and disguise our voices. About midnight, we knock on the door and say it's the bellboy. When they open up... Okay, knock. Go ahead.
Yes? What is it?
Get set. Bellboy.
All right. Coming.
We didn't sign up back from the room and reach.
Quiet, all of you. Shut up.
Okay, on your feet.
Quiet.
Get up.
Now leave the dough on the table. Empty your pockets and don't hold out.
Shut up.
We're going to search every one of you before we get out, so put it all out. If you don't, it's 11 floors out that window.
Go on, empty your pockets.
That's it.
Boy, come on. All right, now all of you get in the bathroom. But listen, get in the bathroom and make it snappy. Get the dope out.
Right.
Go on. Get in there. Hey, get in there. Shut up. You.
Hey?
Yeah. Shut the door and start counting. When you get to 1,000, you can come out. And count slow.
Well,
Go on, count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Shut the door.
6, 7, 8.
You got it all?
Yeah, about it. Take care of the phone.
Right. That's that.
All right, come on, let's get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Oh, what? Come on.
Take it easy. Now walk up to the bathroom door with me, but quietly. Listen, hold it. Quiet.
Come on, open the door. Okay, I'll open the door myself.
Hey, cut. Start all over again. To 1,000. And if you open that door before you reach 1,000, I'll shoot you right through the head. If you think I'm going to leave or if you think I'm kidding, just try it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Inspector Lejard.
This is Sergeant Wayne. Cleveland just called me back, Inspector.
Oh?
They've been checking up there, and they've got a line on the Oliver brothers.
Good.
As a matter of fact, they had a robbery of a poker game last night. The bandits wore masks, but it looks pretty much like it could be the Oliver brothers. It's their kind of stunt.
How about plane reservation, Sergeant?
I'll check on them right away. What time do you want to leave?
On the first flight out.
Okay, I'll get the tickets and wire Cleveland. We're on the way.
Well, here we are, home again.
It was a wonderful party, Lydia.
Thanks for letting me tag along.
It wouldn't have been the same without you, Lawton.
Come on, honey.
Good night, Lawton.
I'll see you in the morning.
I'll be right out.
Oh, don't hurry. Take your time.
Ralph,
Yes, honey?
Mother and Father asked me to invite you to dinner tomorrow night.
Good. I'd love to come.
I suppose they know things are getting serious.
Well, it's about time they know, don't you think?
More than time.
Have you got your keys?
Yes. Here. Good night, darling. I'll see you tomorrow.
Inside a minute, honey.
Sure.
Lydia, let's get married.
Ralph,
Yes or no? That's all I want to hear. Well?
Ralph. Yes.
Oh, honey.
Oh, Ralph.
Baby, we...
Don't say any more. Let me remember every word.
Good night, honey.
Good night, darling.
Well, what do you think, Lord? I propose on it.
And what, Oliver?
And nothing.
Police officers. Get in.
Okay.
I guess this is it, Ralph.
Yeah.
They're waiting here for us.
Come on, Sergeant. Police headquarters.
All right. Police headquarters.
the Oliver brothers, who thought they could lead a double life. The only life they found, however, was behind penitentiary bars. And in addition, they're now waiting trial on 6 more robbery indictments.
Well, thank you, Sheriff Grosh, for this extraordinary case history. And Gangbusters, congratulations to the officers who participated in the investigation and apprehension of these criminals.
Proudly we hail. From New York City, where the American stage begins, here is another program with a cast of outstanding players. Public service time has been made available by this station for your Army and your Air Force to bring you this story, as proudly we hail the men of your United States Army. Entitled Special Mission, an outstanding story of courage. Our first act curtain will rise in just a moment, but first, here is a special message to the high school class of 52. The United States Army, the senior service, needs bright young men, men with ambition who want to continue their education. If you can fill the bill, the Army will send you to one of its many fine technical schools, for the Army trains its men for such interesting and exciting fields as radio, radar, electronics, mechanics, meteorology, and many, many others. You'll not only get the finest training in the world, but you'll have an excellent opportunity for a satisfying career. Your Army is growing fast, and bright young men can grow with it. Why not get all the facts about what the Army has to offer you? Visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station today. And now your Army and your Air Force present the proudly we hail production, Special Mission. It's a big room filled entirely with file cabinets. It's a silent room, dusty, dark, and dull. Dull until you open any one of the cabinets and pick a folder at random from its closely packed confines. Then, as you start reading the neatly typed pages, your surroundings are swept away in a fast-moving undertow of time. You're carried back away from the room, the dust, the silence, and you find yourself entering another room, a smaller, brighter room. The place is London. It's August of the year 1944. Well, top of the morning to you.
You're 2 minutes late, Major.
Your watch is fast.
Hi, Bill. Good to see you. Sit down.
That's better. Well, how's it feel to be a full colonel?
Okay. You have a good rest? Here, that's one of mine.
Oh, thank you. Well, what's the scoop?
I've got a job for you.
I figured.
Big job, plenty important. There are over 500,000 German troops in Norway. They've got to be prevented from being shifted to the Western Front. If we can cut that transportation line, the only way they can move is by sea. And the British Navy will take care of that.
And I get the job of cutting the transportation line, huh?
You head the group that takes a crack at it.
How many in the group?
About 45. You'll have 2 other officers with you, Tom Sather and Glenn Farnsworth. I think you know Farnsworth.
Demolition expert.
That's right. I'd say there's an Arctic explorer. He'll be mighty handy in that kind of country.
How soon do we leave?
You leave for Scotland tonight. We set up a training headquarters on the slopes of Ben Nevis. You'll get special ski training and...
thorough workout.
Well, that's right. You'll have members of the Norwegian underground for your instructors. Now, let's have a look at the map.
Okay, fellas, okay. School's out. Consider yourselves graduated. We've had 5 months to learn our job. Tonight we go to work. I'm not going to make any speeches. We all know what the score is.
With the help of God, some luck, and the Norwegian underground, we'll come through all right. Now we'll be going over in 3 planes, 16 men to a plane. Group 1 will assemble at 2200 hours.
Major, it's not good. We're icing up badly. And this stuff, I'm not sure where we are.
You want to turn back?
Well, I don't want to, but it's the only sensible thing to do. You can't jump in this stuff, and I don't know how much longer I can fly in it.
Okay, you're the driver. Swing her around.
Hello, Bill. Top lock. Well, you can't help things like that. Weather stinko everywhere. Now continue your training, and we'll let you know when to try again.
You know, this is beginning to get a little monotonous.
Oh, Tom, you speak the truth. Yea, verily.
10 hours of bouncing around in that bucket for nothing.
That makes 2 strikes.
That still leaves us 1, guys.
I suppose majors are just naturally optimistic.
Well, they have to be, Glenn. To keep their subordinates out of the slough of despond.
Now the bird's a poet. What do you say we take him out and bury him in a snowdrift?
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Yeah, you boys don't have any respect for rank.
None whatever.
Now be careful. I have 11 Brooklyn Dodger fans in my group.
Oh, we give up.
I just gotten word from the colonel. Next time we try, you 2 will ride with me.
Doesn't trust you, hmm?
No, he uses his head. He figures if we have to bail out in lousy weather, the chances of the 3 of us linking up will be much better if we bail out of the same plane.
A very intelligent man, the colonel.
There you go. Bucking again.
Major, the best I can tell you is that we're over the northern part of Norway, north of Manor. If you're going to go, you're going to have to go now. Getting low on gas.
Lovely night.
Peachy.
You're sure we're over land?
Yeah, we picked up a signal. If you don't get out pronto, you're apt to come down and sweep.
All right, take her down as low as you dare.
Roger. Good luck, and happy Easter.
Thanks. Glenn, that you?
Yeah. Oh, mighty lucky we latched up in this.
Yeah, real howler.
Got any idea where we are?
No, let's start looking for the others.
Snow must be about 4 feet deep.
Yeah, I know. We're on a mountain slope. Let's start moving down. Then I don't know what's happened to the others. The chances are they didn't give it a try. Anyhow, the 16 of us will have to go it alone.
Major, you got any idea where we are?
Sure, Sergeant. We're in Norway. Tom, Captain Sather has our position pinned down pretty well. We're not too far off the beam. In fact, landing up here in these hills has undoubtedly saved us a run of grief. Now, you see those peaks off to the southeast? Well, right between those peaks, there's a lake. And as soon as it gets dark, that's where we're headed. We've got about an hour to wait. Now, keep moving around as much as you can, but stay close and stay in these woods. Sergeant, I want 4 men along the timber line. See that they're relieved every 15 minutes. Any questions? Okay, keep on your feet and keep moving. Glenn, Tom, crawl up here. Now, there's the lake. You can just make out the rim. All right, now look down there. No, more to the left.
That's the light.
That's the end, hmm?
Yeah, it should be. I'm going down alone to make contact. If I'm not back in an hour, you'll know things didn't pan out. In that case, you're to clear out of here and follow the alternate plan.
Why go down alone, Bill? Take a couple of men with you. And if anything goes wrong, you'll have a chance to get out.
Yeah, and warn every Nazi in the area that they've got company. This way, if anything gets snafu'd, you jokers will still have a chance to get the job done. Okay, now check your watches. It's now 2200. If I'm not back by 23:10, start moving north. You hear any shooting, clear out. The password will be heat wave.
Who knocked?
I missed the main road. Could I stay for the night?
Who are you? Where did you come from?
I'm a fisherman from Trondheim.
All right. Come in.
Oh, that's better. Half frozen.
The fire will warm you.
Got quite a lake here. How's the fishing?
To tell you the truth, it is... the fishing is particularly good the winter.
Oh, that's the best news I've heard all day.
We had almost given up hope of seeing you. I nearly forgot the right words. Where did you come from? Where are your men?
Are we alone here?
Only my wife. She is in bed. I am Carl, and I would like to shake your hand.
Well, I'm Bill. Glad to know you, Carl. My men are on the ridgeline up and back.
They will be safe here until I've had time to let our friends know you have arrived.
Good. How long will it take you to notify your friends?
By nightfall tomorrow, you will be able to start.
Quite a hike, isn't it?
Right. About 100 kilometers. How many pairs of skis will you need?
16. And as many hand sleds to carry the explosives.
So few to do such a big job. Well, perhaps it is better that way.
Best we can do right now. Here's the Northland Railway, the only line that connects the north and the south. If we can blow this bridge right here, we're going to badly disrupt their transportation. That's part of our job.
Men from the underground understand that. I've explained it all to them. They will guide you to the bridge and then help you to escape.
Well, that's only our first objective. After that's done, we've got to destroy 1.5 miles of track at this key station near Snarzen.
When you come to do a job, you do a job, eh? All right. Our men will take you.
Good. And the sooner we get started, the better. There's the bridge.
A bridge of great workmanship and beauty, is it not so, Anselmo?
You read too many books. Only got 2 guards at each end.
Hans, what do you make of it? Don't they usually have it better protected than that?
Sir, it's a Sunday. On Sunday, they relax and they are confident.
Oh.
Not much activity at that post down there. The whole place looks asleep.
Tom, take 6 men. Get rid of the guards.
Sir, I beg your pardon. The guards can take care of the guards. Are you concentrating on the explosives? You will be honored, sir, and there will be no warning, I promise you.
Okay, Hans, that'll be a big help. Don't bungle it.
Sir, that is something we never bungle.
What are those guys going to do? Wait till the guards die of old age?
No. Keep your shirt on, Glenn. They know what they're doing.
And Hans is some boy.
But they all are. They've been fighting these cookies a lot longer than we.
What do we do if they louse it?
We keep cool, Glenn. We stay right here and keep cool.
Look, they're coming up over the side of the bridge.
Get your head down.
Wow. That was quick work.
All right, Glenn, you and Sergeant Rowe and your party will work on the span. Tom, we'll take the left. If the alarm's given, fall back to this point. Let's go. How is it up top?
Okay.
Maroney, put the charge a little higher. Hurry it up.
What is it, Sergeant?
4 of them, and a non-com coming up the road. Going to change the guard. Manelli, hurry it up.
Glenn, your detonator's all set?
Yeah, right here.
All right, everybody down flat. As soon as it's over, on the double up to the timberline.
Hurry, so hurry that they'll reach the bridge. They know something is wrong.
Hold on to your hat.
You are listening to the Proudly We Hail production of Special Missions. We'll return to our story in just a moment. Did you ever stop to wonder why your United States Army has such a long tradition of victory? Well, the secret is a very simple one. It's training that pays off. Old soldiers will tell you that it's good training plus the best leadership that spells victory. Your United States Army has always emphasized both. Visit the United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station in your neighborhood and learn all the facts. Enlist in the United States Army today. You are listening to Proudly We Hail. And now we present the second act of Special Missions.
Close it up. Keep moving. Franklin, get going.
Well, it was a lovely explosion. Sighted one bridge, blue sand.
Yeah.
And look back there.
Yeah, we're popular. Looks like the whole Nazi army's out after us. Move those skis, you dodgers! Well, I suppose we can be thankful for this blizzard, huh, Hans?
Yeah, we cannot make good time in it. But neither can they. A scrape ain't in it, though, for they might stumble upon us.
You want to keep moving all night?
No, we must rest. For the time being, at least. The going ahead will be more difficult, and our hunters will not give up easily.
Now I know what it feels like to be a fox. A half-frozen fox. You know, I remember one time
What is it, Sergeant? I think we got company, sir.
Coming from where?
Up to the timber. Fowler and Doolin are on guard down there.
All right. Down, men, down! Hans, you're sure there were only 8 in that patrol?
Cannot be positive, sir, but we checked back as far as we dared and found no sign of others.
One of their advance patrols. They couldn't have known we were here, though.
Yes, I realize that. I don't think they enjoyed committing suicide, but if one of them managed to get away, Sergeant, we move out in 3 minutes.
Be only a cave, but to me it looks like a palace.
Oh, my aching back. We've been going for 4 days or 4 years.
Well, who cares? We gave him the slip. We'll stay here and rest a day or two and then head for Snarza. Hans, we owe you and your friends our lives.
Yes, what's an honor to guide you, sir. And if we may, we will stay on the yacht as long as you have need of us.
Hans, we'll have need of you from now until it's time to go home. Now, grab that end of the map, will you, Glenn? Thank you. All right. This is where we are. In this mountain, right, Hans?
Yes, sure. That is correct.
Here's Snarza here at the end of the lake. There's the junction. You know, it's well guarded, especially now. And Hans tells me it's about a day's journey. We'll start tonight, reach this point here. That's about 2/3 the distance. We'll hold up during the day, and sometime around midnight tomorrow night, we should be on target.
You don't plan to use the same method of detonation, do you?
No, we'll use the time devices on this one. We'll probably break up into 2-man teams with a central point of rendezvous once we get to Snarza. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sergeant, everybody okay?
Ready to knock it out of Ebbets Field, sir.
This storm, is this what we needed, huh?
Yes, sir, but the track is heavily guarded on both sides.
Well, how far from the track itself are they patrolling?
About 100 yards from the embankment over which the track runs.
Well, then once we get past them, we can climb the embankment and And in this snow and darkness, there's not much chance of our being spotted.
You make it sound easy, sir.
A busy line, isn't it?
Only as far as the bridge.
And soon only as far as the embankment. Sergeant Rowe, gather the men around. Now, Hans, you and your boys will wait here until we're all back. If we're discovered, take off. Now, this is a pitch, guys. We're going to infiltrate in two-man teams. Now, first, let's get our watches synchronized. He's moving toward the right. Yes, I see him. When he comes back and moves to the left, you go through. Keep right on going up the embankment. I'll wait till he moves to the right again. So far, so good. Plant your charges under the rail right here. I'll take the other side. Set the timing for 0230.
I sure hope the other guys have been as lucky as we have.
But if they hadn't been, Sergeant, we'd have heard about it in no uncertain terms. Now let's get cracking.
Sir!
What's the matter?
The rails are humming. Here, put your ear down here.
Train. Wind's behind us. Can't tell how close it is.
Maybe we better. Quick! Grab that dynamite. Roll down the bank! You all right, Sergeant? Major, now I know what a bomb feels like. I was sure it was going to go off when I hit this ditch.
Well, come on. Let's get up there again and finish this job.
Here come two more.
Check them in, Sergeant.
Right.
Two more to go.
Who are they, Sergeant?
Doolin and Fowler.
And that leaves McDonald and Goldberg.
But they may be lost, sir, in the snow. Perhaps I could go find them.
Can't afford you, Hans. If they're not here in 5 minutes, we'll have to go without them.
It's 0200, sir.
Thank you. Glenn,
You'll let me wait here for them. We can catch up.
And if they don't come?
I'll only wait 15 minutes.
And you'd never catch us or even find us in this snow.
Sorry. I think I'd keep them out. I'd go out and guide them in.
Oh, if Tom scares me like that again, I'll fire him. Where are you taking us, Hans? Back to the cave?
No, sir. Could never make it. They will alert the whole countryside. There are some of my countrymen who will help them. It is best to head southeastward. There are mountains, and on the other side, the Swedish border.
Yeah, we'll keep going till dawn's light.
It is best.
Oh, right on the button. Now the fun begins.
They're on our trail, that's for sure.
Oh, no rest for the wicked.
Sergeant, don't let those men straggle.
Down in the flesh. At the rate we are traveling, they'll overtake us before we reach the top.
Head for that stand of timber. I'll take 4 men and throw them down. Captain Sathers will be in charge if we don't catch up with
Oh,
him.
you can't do that, Major.
You got any better ideas, Lieutenant?
Sure, let me stay behind and I can take a couple.
What are you bucking for? A promotion?
Would it not be better if we all waited for them in the timber and make the ambush? There's no cover out there. And
No, it would not be better, Don. There may be no cover for them, but with the gang they've got, they could outflank us in no time. I plan to stop their advance patrol and hightail it. It'll buy us a little time. Sergeant! We'll wait until they're almost on top of us.
We just clobber that patrol and hit the road, huh?
That's all. We'll stop the main group. Make them think we're all here, waiting to make a fight of it.
Doolin, get your silly head down.
Get ready, men. Now pour it at him. I thought I told you to keep going.
Lucky shot, Nick Roberts. Thompson and his boys are lashing his stretcher out of speed.
How bad is he?
Not too bad. Glenn, give him a shot of penicillin.
You men, hold your fire. Tom, we've got to start down the other side of this mountain. Fast. If brought along mortars, we'd be finished, but good. Hans, how soon will he be ready to go?
Ready now, sir.
How far are we from the border?
About 35 kilometers.
All right, I want 2 of your best men to try and get Roberts there just as soon as they can. Glenn, show them how to use the penicillin. When they reach the border, they can take off his insignia and hand him over as a refugee Norwegian. Now let's clear out of here while we're still able.
Glenn, how many weeks you figure they've been taking us?
Well, I haven't kept track. Over a month. Look down there. Another patrol nosing around.
Yeah. Must be spring. Only you never know it up here.
You know something, Tom? Living on barley and wheat flour is a fine way to lose weight.
Suppose we should be on it. The entire occupation force looking for it.
I can't make up my mind whether it'd be better to have them catch us or just curl up and die of hunger and exhaustion.
I think we better let the major know about that patrol before we do anything.
Speak of the devil.
Now, what's he got to grin about?
Maybe he enjoys this. Must you smile, Major Colby?
Tom, what's the closest big town?
The closest town?
Yeah.
Singer, I guess. What do you want to do, blow it up? Understand they only got about 4,000 troops there.
What do you say we go down and take possession of it?
Oh, Bill, sir, Major, you better sit down.
Be quite a sight for the townspeople, won't it? 15 half-starved Yanks and 4 Norwegian members of the underground, all in rags. Oh, boy, I'll bet they'd get a big kick out of it. Sergeant, assemble the men. We're going to town.
Now, wait a minute, Major. Just take...
Oh, I forgot to tell you, men. We picked up some news on the portable a few minutes ago. It's all over but the shouting. The Nazis quit.
What? Are you kidding?
Lieutenant never questioned the veracity of a superior officer. Especially when he tells you we just won a war.
You young men who graduated from high school in the class of 52, listen to this. There's a real opportunity for you in the expanding United States Army, and you can continue your education, too. You see, the Army gives its soldiers the finest technical training in the world. Today's many soldiers go to excellent schools where they learn to do a job and do it right. What's more, in the Army you can even get a college degree through USASI, the United States Armed Forces Institute. And because our Army is expanding so rapidly, promotions come fast. Remember, there's lots of room at the top. You'll lead an interesting, healthy life, too, and work side by side with other intelligent young Americans. Why not visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station and find out what the Army has to offer you?
This has been another program on Proudly We Hail, presented transcribed in cooperation with this station by the United States Army and United States Air Force Recruiting Service. This program featured a cast of outstanding players. This is Kenneth Banghart speaking and inviting you to tune in the same station next week for another interesting story on Proudly We Hail.
episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invites you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. And I sure wish you could listen to this story with a glass of Petri California port right at your elbow. Petri port. That's the wine that's perfect after dinner when you're just taking things easy. And say, if you've never tried Petri port, if you've never tasted that wonderful, rich red wine, well, this is the week to do it. I'll tell you why. This is National Wine Week, sort of a celebration we're having to mark the return to good living. Your wine merchant is kind of rolling out the red plush carpet this week, and among other things, he wants to prove to you that you just couldn't ask for a more delicious wine than Petri wine. Why don't you take him up on it? And begin by becoming acquainted with Petri Port. You'll really love it, and so will your guests. And say, you can serve Petri Port proudly, because after all, the name Petri is the proudest name in the history of American wines. That's a fact. Well, here's the patio of Dr. Watson's Northern California bungalow, but where's the doctor?
Here I am, Mr. Bartell, out in the garden.
Okay, I'll be right there. Oh, sitting by the fish pond, huh, Doctor?
Yes, my boy. It's rather pleasant out here for a change. Has it ever occurred to you how stupid the expression of a goldfish is, Mr. Bartell?
Well, I can't say I've ever given it much thought, Doctor. Why?
You see this foolish little fellow here with his silly little mouth opening and closing as though he were constantly astonished?
What is this? I thought you were a fish lover.
Yes, I am. But as I was brooding over tonight's story, that goldfish seemed to be making faces at me as though it was trying to remind me of how my face must have looked on a certain June evening in 1890.
It sounds to me as if you're going to tell a story against yourself, Doctor.
I am, young fellow, my lad.
What happened?
One Sunday morning in 1890, I dropped round to visit my friend in Baker Street. Mrs. Hudson told me that he was out, but suggested that I wait in our old rooms for his return and promised me a pot of strong tea with some buttered scones as an inducement. As I walked into the sitting room, I was astonished to see Holmes standing there, a bag in one hand and a coat in the other.
My dear chap, how are you?
I'm fine, Holmes. I'm surprised to see you, though. Mrs. Hudson told me that you were out.
I have been, Watson, on a case. I just returned by my private entrance for some necessary apparatus.
Oh, could I come with you? My wife's away, you know, but my practice is quite slack at the moment.
Not even my trusty old friend Watson can accompany me on this case. It's a ticklish business. The fate of two nations hangs in the balance. I must work alone. Sorry to leave you like this, old fellow. Goodbye.
Oh, wait a minute. Mrs. Hudson's making me some tea and some buttered scones. Can't you wait and share them with me?
Huh? Good old Watson. You're the one fixed point in a changing age. Empires are tottering, and you talk of tea and buttered scones.
Oh, I'm sorry I must be off. Goodbye, old fellow.
Don't look so sad, old fellow. When the time is ripe, I'll tell you all about the case, and you can write it up in your memoirs. Goodbye, old boy.
Buttered scones. I haven't got any appetite for them now.
Did you enjoy the scones, Dr. Watson?
Oh, I'm afraid my appetite disappeared when Mr. Holmes left.
It did it? I see you've eaten them all just the same.
What? Oh, yes, so I did.
I've got a surprise for you, Doctor. Inspector Lestrade is downstairs.
Oh, is he?
He came to see Mr. Holmes, but when I told him he was out, the inspector said he'd like to see you.
Oh, he did? Oh, splendid. I'll ask him to come up, please, will you, Mrs. Hudson?
Aye, sir. Will you come up, please, Inspector?
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Can I butter you up a few more scones?
No, thank you. I really couldn't eat them.
I'll just go and make some more the same. You'll eat them if I fix them, Doctor.
No, really, thank you. There you are, Lestrade.
Hello, Dr. Watson. Here's a pretty kettle of fish and no mistake.
Huh? What's the trouble?
Well, I want Mr. Holmes' help on a most important case. Where's he gone?
Well, he's out on a very secret matter.
You know where he is, Doctor?
Well, naturally, I know where he is, Lestrade. My old friend never keeps me in the dark, but I'm not at liberty to tell you. Perhaps I could help you a bit. After all, I'm not exactly unfamiliar with my friend's methods.
That's true, but just the same. Oh, well, Doctor, 2 heads are always better than one, even if one is a sheep's head, as my old mother used to say.
Are you suggesting that I'm a sheep's head?
No, I'm not suggesting anything, Doctor. I'm just telling you what my old mother used to say.
I'm really not very interested in what your old mother used to say. Oh. And now, Lestrade, your problem, please.
Well, it's simple enough, Doctor. A German diplomat, Graf Otto von Heldenstein is his name, is in England on a very secret mission.
Graf Otto von Heldenstein? Yes, I've heard of him. Pray continue.
Well, this von Heldenstein staying at the Manor House at Hampton Wick, not far out of London. This morning, somebody slipped past his guards and threw a bomb into his study. His secretary was killed, and he would have been too, if it hadn't been that he'd left the room a few minutes earlier.
Oh, these second-hand investigations are very little use, Lestrade. We must both go down to the Manor House at Hampton Wick and examine the situation on the spot.
All right.
Get out the timetable and look up the next train, will you?
Yes.
And while you're doing that, I'll go and tell Mrs. Hudson where I'm going.
All right, you are, Doctor.
Doctor, I was just bringing them up to you.
Scones? Well, who can think of scones when an empire's tottering?
Are you sure you're feeling quite well, Doctor?
Of course I am. Now, listen to me, Mrs. Hudson. If Mr. Holmes should return, please tell him that I've gone to Hampton Wick with Inspector Lestrade to investigate the von Heldenstein business.
The von Heldenstein business? Aye, Doctor, I'll tell him that.
Mr. Holmes didn't tell you where he was going, did he?
No, Doctor, he didn't.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Hudson. Thank
you. Are you sure you don't want the scones, Doctor?
I might as well take him along. I dare say Lestrade could eat him.
Aye, you're the one, Doctor.
Yes, I suppose this is rather exciting. Just the same, I wish I knew what Holmes was doing at this moment.
You are Herr Sherlock Holmes?
Yes, I presume Graf Otto von Heldenstein is expecting me?
Ja, Herr Holmes. He was so anxious that you would come here to the Manor House.
I left immediately after I got his summons.
He's very weak. He has lost much blood from the injuries he received this morning.
Injuries that no one knows about, eh?
Nein, Herr Holmes. Only I, his old and faithful servant, knows. Follow me, please. I will take you to him.
Franz, is that you, Franz?
Ja, Herr Graf. And with me is Herr Sherlock Holmes.
Oh. Thank heaven you are here, Holmes. I hope I can be of service to you, sir. You can. You can be of great service. Sit close to my bed, Holmes. I have not much strength to speak. I'm listening, Herr Graf. You must impersonate me. Yes, so I gathered when I received your message. I am in England on a most delicate and important mission for the German government. Within a few weeks, your government and mine will conclude a treaty outlining the German and British spheres of interest in Africa. I see. Obviously, that bomb was thrown this morning by someone who does not wish the treaty to be concluded. Yeah, exactly, Herr Holmes. That is why you must impersonate me. In 24 hours' time, I shall be well enough to resume my work. In the meanwhile, you can keep the secret of my injuries and also have the opportunity of finding the assassin. I'm quite prepared to undertake the impersonation, sir, but how can I possibly hope to deceive the members of your personal staff? With the exception of Franz here and poor Fräulein Ullmeyer, who was killed in the explosion that injured me, my staff is new. They have joined me here from the German consulate in London. They will believe that you are me. Very well, sir. I'll try it. I have heard of your skill in the art of disguises, and also it seems to me we are not so unlike each other. I was about to comment on that fact myself, sir. Yes, I think that a moustache and side whiskers will work wonders. if I can make the accent reasonably convincing.
I will coach you, my friend.
Splendid. Help me off with my coat, will you, Franz? Get me towels and a mirror.
Jawohl, Herr Holmes.
And while I'm applying my makeup, Herr Graf, perhaps you will be so good as to give me the complete circumstances regarding this morning's attempt on your life. If I'm to impersonate you successfully, I must have all the facts at my fingertips.
Wunderbar. It is amazing, Herr Holmes. Even I can hardly tell you from my master.
Yes, I think it's the wig that puts the finishing touch to my disguise. How did it look to you, Herr Graf?
Colossal. I feel as if I were looking into a mirror.
And my accent, you find it reasonably convincing?
Oh, yeah. Extremely so. Try it once again, Herr Holmes.
Ja, Herr Graf. It gives me the greatest pleasure to do what you ask of me.
Prächtig. Splendid, Herr Holmes. Splendid.
A cab is drawn up at the gate. 2 men are getting out. You can see them from the window here.
Oh, it's the police, possibly, or... Great Scott. It's Watson and Lestrade.
Friends of yours, Herr Holmes?
One of them is my close colleague, and the other is a detective inspector from Scotland Yard.
Oh, you must keep up the deception, even with your friends.
As a matter of fact, my friend's investigations will prove an excellent mask for my own search for the assassin. But, this is a delicious situation. I hope they won't recognize me. I am Graf Otto von Heldenstein, gentlemen. You wish to see me?
How do you do, sir? My name is Watson, Dr. Watson, and this is Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.
How do you do, sir? Inspector. Dr. Watson, may I ask if I have the great distinction of addressing the Dr. Watson, friend of Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, I'm very flattered that you know me, Herr Graf.
But who does not know the great Dr. Watson? In my country, many people think that you are the real brains of the combination. Tell me, Herr Doctor, is that true?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that, sir.
Of course, you have both come here to investigate what occurred this morning.
Yes, we have, sir.
Please sit down. If you can find any furniture that is unbroken.
Oh, thank you, sir. I must say the place is in a bit of a mess. And now, Herr Graf, please tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah. I will tell you everything, Herr Doctor. This morning I was working in here with my secretary, poor Fräulein Ullmeier. I had occasion to go upstairs to my room to get some necessary papers. As I came down the staircase to return here, I heard a scream from Fräulein Ullmeier. A moment later, there was a most frightful explosion. The concussion stunned me. When I came to, my poor secretary was dead.
What people were inside the house at the time of the explosion?
The servants were all at the church. The only people here was my secretary who was killed, my servant Franz. I can vouch for him because he was upstairs when I went for my documents. There were 3 other people in the house, however. Madame Lisa Barona, my hostess, and the owner of this house. A young Englishman from the Home Office. His name is Hilary Adams, and the third person in the house was a member of the German embassy, Colonel Schweiger.
Oh, then it's just a matter of cross-questioning the 3 of them as to their alibis at the time of the explosion. I'll take them one at a time, Lestrade. Ring for that servant fellow. What was his name?
Franz.
Franz, that's the name.
This is a rare privilege to watch a master detective at work.
Yes, Herr Graf. I shouldn't be surprised if my methods teach you quite a bit about the art of detection.
Herr Dr. Watson, this is Colonel Schweiger of the German embassy.
Where were you, Colonel Schweiger, when the explosion occurred this morning?
I was discussing the military tactics of Clausewitz with one of the guards near the front gates.
Yeah, well, what was the name of the guard, sir?
Carter. Mr. Arthur Carter.
Yeah, I'll check on that.
Thank you, Colonel Schweiger. Please ask Madame Lissa Verona to come in with us.
Questions, nothing but questions. Leave me alone.
Sorry, madam. All I want to know is where were you when the explosion occurred this morning?
Where was I? In my boudoir, listening to that stupid babblings of the young Englishman, Hilary Adams. Herr Graf, when I offered you my house, I did not know that I would have to put up with the love-making of your staff. Everywhere he followed.
No. Please don't get so excited, Madame Verona.
Questions. Stupid young English puppies making calf eyes at me. My beautiful house blown to pieces. No, you do it.
Mr. Adams, where were you when the explosion occurred?
In Madame Verona's suite.
You swear to that?
Of course I do. You may ask her.
I've already done so, sir. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Thank you. That's all. You may go. Well, Lestrade, did you check on Colonel Schweiger's alibi?
Yes, Doctor. He was telling the truth. He was talking to the colonel when the explosion happened.
Dear me, Herr Doctor, your examination has not been very successful, has it, sir? Everyone has an alibi.
Yes, but the alibis of Madame Verona and the young Englishman, Hilary Adams, depend on each other's words. They might be lying. When you've been dealing with criminals as long as I have, Herr Graf, you learn to look far deeper than the obvious. Yes, Lestrade and I shall return to London now and make some inquiries. You will hear from me, sir, before the day is over.
Yes. Well, I'm much obliged to you, Doctor, for a very nice meal. Although we've been talking in circles.
Not entirely. Anyway, I have come to one important decision.
Oh, and what's that, Doctor?
Madame Verona is addicted to the use of drugs. The pupils of her eyes were contracted to pinpoints. It's an invariable indication of drug addiction. Lestrade, you go to Scotland Yard and see what you can find out about her, and I'll go back to my house. You can meet me there later. I wish Mary wasn't away. It's the cook's night out, confound it. I can't see a thing. I'll strike a match. That's better. Hello? Who's that in the drawing room? Who is it?
Watson! I thought you'd never come.
Holmes, where on earth do you spring from?
Never mind that, old chap. I've come to warn you. Keep out of the von Heldenstein business if you value your life.
Well, how did you know that I was working on the case?
I can't tell you now, but I implore you. Keep out of it. There are dangerous forces at work. Forces that would snuff out your life without a thought. Please believe me, old chap. And do as I... Quick, Watson! Under the dining room!
You'll hear the rest of Dr. Watson's story in just a few seconds. All the time I need to remind you that, what with this being National Wine Week, if you want to take a gift to a young lady, why not take her a bottle of Petri California Muscatel? Petri Muscatel is the kind of wine you'd serve a queen. That Petri Muscatel has a flavor of plump, sun-ripened Muscat grapes, and is it ever good? You couldn't ask for a more delicious after-dinner wine, or a more delicious wine to serve when company comes. Remember, it's Muscatel, but the important thing is, it's Petri. Petri Muscatel. And now back to Dr. Watson and tonight's adventure, the Manor House case. That was a fine place to break off your story, Doctor, I must say.
Mr. Bartell, I thought I'd keep you in as much suspense as possible.
Well, what happened next? Were you and Holmes injured when that bomb exploded?
No, my boy. The concussion of the explosion knocked me out for a few minutes. When I came to, Holmes had disappeared.
And I can imagine where he'd gone. Go on, Doctor.
Soon after that, Lestrade arrived on the scene, and after a quick and fruitless examination of the premises, we decided to return once more to the Manor House. And so, an hour later, I was telling my story to the man I still thought to be the Graf Otto von Heldenstein.
But this is dreadful, Herr Doctor. The bomb might easily have killed you.
Oh, I was ready for it, sir. Quick thinking and presence of mind are my stock in trade, you know. When I heard the crash, I flung myself under the dining room table.
I'm most distressed that you yourself should be exposed to such danger.
Not at all, Herr Graf. As a matter of fact, I exposed myself deliberately to the attack. It's an old army trick, you know, what we call drawing the enemy's fire.
Come now, Doctor. You don't mean to tell us that you expected to have that bomb chucked through the window at you?
Of course I did, Lestrade. The assassin knew that I was working on the case. He followed me to London and fell into my trap, just as I intended him to, by showing his hand.
Well, I don't see what he's got you, Doctor.
I myself must admit I cannot see that you are any nearer to finding the murderer.
On the contrary, sir, the case is nearly solved.
Well, I don't see how you figured that one out, Doctor.
Elementary, my dear Lestrade, elementary. One of the 3 people under suspicion followed me to my house tonight. The second bomb was thrown at approximately 7 o'clock. Now, it's only a question of finding which one of the 3 cannot account for his movements at that time. Then we shall know the murderer.
You want to cross-examine them again, Doctor?
Yes, Lestrade, bring them in, please. One at a time. Colonel Schweiger, where were you at 7 o'clock tonight?
Discussing the military tactics of Clausewitz with Mr. Carter of the Home Office Guards.
Great Scott, that's what you were doing at 11 o'clock this morning, too.
It would take many days of discussion for 2 students to appreciate all the subtleties of Clausewitz.
Yeah, I'll check on that again, Doctor.
Thank you, Lestrade. And please ask Madame Verona to come in, will you?
Questions, and still more questions. Where have all that 7 tonight, you asked me? I was listening to more babblings from that stupid young Englishman. Ask him for yourself.
Mr. Adams, where were you at 7 tonight?
With Madame Verona in her boudoir. There is a curious sameness about the pattern of life in this house, is there not, Herr Doctor?
Well, I checked on Colonel Schweiger's statement. It was true. He was talking to Carter at 7 o'clock, all right. Well, could the other 2 account for themselves, Doctor?
Oh, once again, they alibied for each other, but this time I begin to doubt them.
Oh, why do you say that, Herr Doctor?
Oh, I would accept Madame Verona's alibi for young Adams. Obviously, she loathes the boy and wouldn't perjure herself for him. On the other hand, he worships her, and I'm certain that he wouldn't have any scruples about lying to provide an alibi for her.
Well, you've got a point there, Doctor.
Yes, I regard her with great suspicion. Yeah, come in. Yes, Mr. Adams?
Dr. Watson, I've been worrying about Madame Verona. I was afraid you wouldn't believe my alibi for her.
Indeed?
I have another, an unbiased witness who can testify that Madame Verona was in this house at 7 tonight. Come in, Franz.
Jawohl, gnädiger Herr.
Franz, did you see Madame Verona at 7 tonight?
Yeah. I take up 2 glasses of sherry to her. It was a few minutes before 7.
Thank you, Franz. Thank you, Mr. Adams. I appreciate your concern. You may go.
Seems to me we're still traveling in circles, Doctor.
On the contrary, my dear Lestrade, the case is solved.
Indeed. You astonish me, Herr Doctor. Who is the guilty party?
You'll know in a minute, sir. Lestrade, bring the 3 suspects in here, please.
Yes, sir.
When they are assembled, I will give you the solution to the mystery. Ladies and gentlemen, the mystery is solved, and I must apologize for any little inconvenience which you've undergone. You, Madame Verona, you, Colonel Schweiger, and you, Mr. Adams, have all unshakable alibis. Therefore, the solution is obvious. As my dear friend Sherlock Holmes has often said, eliminate the impossible, and whatever remains, no matter how improbable, is the truth. Therefore, the only person that could have thrown both bombs is you yourself, Graf Otto von Heldenstein.
By George, I believe you're right, Doctor.
What have you got to say for yourself, sir?
That I, too, Herr Doctor, have an unshakable alibi.
Oh, what is it?
I was with you, Herr Doctor, when the second bomb was thrown.
What on earth are you talking about? I was alone, sir.
Oh, come now, old fellow, that's not true.
Holmes.
What?
Holmes, how could you?
Mr. Holmes. Well, strike me. Don't be angry with me, old chap.
Oh, you made a complete
fool
of me,
my dear fellow. Not at all.
I've never
I
seen
thought
any...
you got the real solution to the case, as usual, Mr. Adams.
Yes, Lestrade, I have.
Well, let's hear it, then. Might as well show me up to
Oh,
the
my dear
acid
Watson,
I've
stop
been,
berating yourself. You really handled the case very well. You made only one mistake.
Huh?
May I revise that dictum of mine which you just quoted? Eliminate the possible, and then, if nothing remains, some part of the impossible must be possible.
Which part?
Colonel Schweiger's alibi was valid. So was Madame Verona's, since it was corroborated by the trusty Franz. But what does your alibi rest on, Mr. Adams?
Madame Verona's told you I was here at 7.
Yes, but Madame Verona is addicted to the use of drugs. I'm sure that you spotted that back, Watson.
Yes, I did.
Your mistake, old chap, was in not drawing the correct conclusion. Mr. Adams' alibi depends on the unsupported word of a drug addict. Now, the use of drugs notoriously destroys, first of all, the sense of time. Any trick such as the resetting of clocks could be worked on her without her noticing. Her word on a time alibi is completely valueless.
Then Adams is the man
Fools! Meddlers! Why don't you... He's a murderer and a traitor. Well, now that we're back in Baker Street, Watson, I may as well tell you that I had my suspicions of Adams from the first.
You did? Why?
Well, my brother Mycroft had told me that he was suspected of being a traitor at heart. He's been under observation for some years. He was purposely given this assignment as a definite test of his integrity.
Well, I understand it all now, Holmes. It's the same. I did make it ass of myself in front of Lestrade, too.
Don't worry about it, old chap. Please don't worry. You always can correct that impression, you know. Yours will be the last word.
Oh? How do you mean?
Well, when you come to write this story in your memoirs, my dear fellow, you can always do a little, what shall we say, re-editing of your own parts. Posterity never need know.
Doctor, that was really a swell story.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Sort of made me out of a bit of a fool, though.
Oh, nothing of the kind, Doctor. I agree with Holmes. You did a splendid job.
Oh, you really think I did?
After all, you did line up his suspects for him, didn't you?
Well, come to think of it, yes, of course I did.
And you did make the point that Madame Verona was a drug addict.
Yes, by Jove, so I did.
And you did say that Mr. Adams' alibi could be a lie.
By Jove, you're right. I did solve that case for Holmes after all. Mr. Bartell, did anyone ever tell you that you're really a very smart young man? I wish you and I could work on a case together.
We can. Starting tonight.
No. Really?
Sure. In celebration of National Wine Week, I brought you a case of Petri wine. And I suggest we start on it right now with a glass of port.
What a fellow.
What a wine. Petri wine. We know that's really good because the Petri family has been making fine wine since the 1800s. For generations. Ever since they started the Petri business, the Petri family has been turning luscious California grapes into fragrant, delicious wine. And during all that time, they've been handing on down from father to son, all their skill and knowledge and experience. The Petri wine you buy today is the result of all that skill and knowledge and experience. That's why you can't go wrong when you choose a Petri wine, because Petri took time to bring you good wine. And now, Dr. Watson, what's the prescription for next week's story?
Well, now, let me see. Next week, Mr. Bartell, I think I can promise you a most entertaining adventure. It concerns a famous magician, a female spy of unusual beauty, and a man even more brilliant than Holmes himself. His older brother, Mycroft.
Sounds terrific, Doctor. And before we say goodnight to our friends, I want to remind them that our men overseas need the Merchant Marine to bring them back home. The Merchant Marine got them there, and it'll bring them back, if you help. Right now, the Merchant Marine needs experienced mates, engineers, ABs, firemen, oil or water tenders, and chief cooks. If you qualify, write or wire collect at once to Merchant Marine, Washington 25, D.C. Bring the boys home. Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure is written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and was suggested by an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Greek Interpreter. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. This is Harry Bartell saying goodnight for the Petri family. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.